people are like, man, amazing, super great, can't wait for it to come out. Which is awesome. Usually you get someone who dissents just to dissent.
Yeah.
Well, Blizzard is pretty good about putting a lot of polish into things, especially before they show it to somebody. The things that usually are the easiest targets are like that. Well, this character just doesn't work, or is ridiculously overbalanced or overbalanced. He's too balanced.
He's so balanced.
He's so balanced.
The most neutral character I've ever played.
He probably plays with a Pit Boy with
the same joke.
But so I guess they've just play tested it really well. There was an alpha, right, that was even more closed.
Yeah, they normally do that.
Even more closed.
It was less open.
Yes.
I want to step back for a second.
Okay.
There's something I forgot to mention.
Let's slow it down.
I've got another bone to pick.
Yeah?
Oh, wow.
Oh wait, I should read one more thing. Let me read this, and then I got another bone to pick.
What was this? It was this the bone you wanted to?
Oh,
pick?
did you find a video I made 14 years ago?
Yeah,
How
no.
quaint.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Do you want to watch? Do we want to watch Friends or The Cosby Show by any chance?
How quaint.
How quaint.
I love how that's how you know you really actually pissed him off. Oh, isn't that adorable?
Aren't you I don't know.
Using my own words against me? Fine, if you want to do that.
It's a different world back then. All right, let me read this.
Same world.
This episode of The Patch is sponsored by the Red versus... Oh, wait, where is it? This episode of The Patch is sponsored by the Red vs. Blue Ultimate Fan Guide. It's available November 17th, but you can pre-order now at redversusbluebook.com. If you pre-order now, you get a $5 credit you can use in the Rooster Teeth store. The book's co-authored by Bernie Burns and is the ultimate fan guide for the series. The RVB Ultimate Fan Guide makes an awesome holiday gift. Wink.
You could even make it a
The dawn has arrived.
I believe there are even some excerpts were read on the stream. If you happen to catch that or know where someone posted it.
It's got like a kill count for characters over there. What's my kill count? My kill count's 11. It's pretty good.
Is there anyone that has less?
Lopez has 3. Caboose has 2. Yeah, Church has 8. See? You can find out these things if you can get with the book. I fucking worked on this thing for 13 years. I'm learning. Oh, man. That's actually really
Maybe
cool.
you should read that.
This is my copy now. So, fuck you guys. I'm going to take it home and read it.
Great bathroom material. Little tidbits.
Yeah.
For your little tidbits.
Gross. All right, where was I? Oh, yeah, bone to pick.
Yes.
What was my bone to pick?
Pick a bone.
I already forgot.
All right, was it
I remember. Like, who was I mad at? I was mad at Polygon. So it's like the worst kind of, in my opinion, it's like one of the worst kinds of clickbaiting material you can do. Was it today? Yeah, they published a Fallout 4 walkthrough, and I was like, I've got to see this. How do they already have a fucking walkthrough up? So I went, and it's like, obviously there's so much to cover. It's organized like table of contents. The table of contents had 131 different links.
Holy
like
shit.
missions, walkthroughs, and everything. I was like, wow, this is awesome. Of those 131 links, only 16 actually worked. The rest of them said, coming soon. I was like, how the fuck can you publish that and push that live? It's not even, it's barely 10% complete.
You're basically like sharing a Google Doc with people. They're like, I'm filling this in as I go.
Right. It's like, and for the story walkthrough, it's like the first 2 missions are done and nothing else.
I don't know. That's not bothering me that much.
I think it's awful because you make people look at it and then you make them come back and look at it again and like keep checking.
I mean,
why not?
That's how wikis work.
But it's not a wiki. There's no ads on a wiki. No one's making money.
It's a compendium of walkthroughs.
There's
Yeah, but you're going to be the first link that comes up because you put yours up first and you're not providing any information.
Well, they're providing any information they find.
Yeah, but
make.
In my defense, like me, they have had the game for 2 weeks now. They should at least have a story.
Missions,
right. Maybe everything else can be completed later. The story they should have at least have finished.
I give you that, yeah.
Like whoever was the reviewer, whoever wrote that should have been sitting with the reviewer, or the reviewer should have written it, and they should have worked together to flesh that out.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
No,
after
because
you,
I'm going to change the bone.
You're going to change the bone?
So I
did you
want
find
you
a
to be able to say what you want to say about the rest of this bone.
I forgot.
Okay, good. Thanks for being honest. Okay, so I have a bone to pick, and it's people who review shit low, because I feel like people do that to be like, we're different.
Yeah.
Everybody gave Fallout 4 90s and up 70.
Yeah.
Like, you're not different or special just because you review a game low.
Look, we have legitimate things to say, and if we don't rate it low, you won't know how legitimate they
Yeah,
are.
nobody will come to our site to look at it.
No, I
Like,
totally
oh,
agree. I
another
feel like-
90? Whatever.
Yeah, people, especially before the game came out, people were jumping on like that negative bandwagon, which is why one of the first things I started talking about this episode was I feel like the bugs and the negativity is really overblown. Like people are like, and that's like what people are making a stand on to try to stand out. Like, oh, well, we're different. We
Yeah.
we have a more keen eye than the average reviewer. Like people were jizzing all over
discerning.
Jeff Gerstmann and Giant Bomb because
Yes.
they like called out all the problems in
They
the
were
game.
like, it's a technical mess.
Yeah, it's like, oh, thank you, Jeff Gerstmann, for keeping it real.
We sipped
so
wine and
real.
ate cheese on crackers as we wrote our review.
Yes,
Yeah.
on
We're
my
the elite.
Mixler.
And maybe that's maybe that's not just his view. Maybe it's people who are reading his stuff, or maybe like they're looking for that. But I thought that was crazy.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
well, some people want that real stripped down view. They want to know the real nitty gritty stuff that you can't. Well, some people can't look past that stuff, and those people probably would be happy to have that kind of review because it does have technical issues.
yeah,
I honestly feel like it's a blowback from. I feel like there was a change in the industry when Bioshock Infinite came out and got so many perfect scores from so many different outlets. It was getting 10s all over the place, and then I feel like it didn't like start the trend, but I feel like that's where the trend for me really picked up. Of people being like, we're gonna be different. We're gonna say Bioshock Infinite gets a 70 because we're different than everyone else. And then you look at our score because you want to say, why did they give it a 70?
Right.
That annoys me.
That works.
On the flip side, I also hate when people are like 9, 9.1, 9.4,
Yeah.
9.3, and you're like, oh my, you gotta have some
We had to
variation.
dock you 100th of a point.
Yes.
Because the menu was a little slow.
yeah. I mean, but there's nothing is worse than Metacritic user reviews. Look, 0 out of 10. I didn't play this game, but in the
Yeah.
past I didn't like the Fallout universe. It's like, oh, you're not contributing anything.
I
I
love
tried
that.
to buy it, and the system was broken. Like,
I love that. Yeah, 0 out of 10. I went to Best Buy and their registers were down, so fuck Fallout.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like, that has nothing to do with anything. It's the worst.
It is the
I feel like
worst.
people do that on purpose.
Minions
What
have
did I say?
spawned.
I feel like did I have a note about that? Oh no, that's.
I will protect you.
But so I'm gonna say something nice about Polygon
Okay.
now.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm gonna,
compliment sandwich.
yeah. You gotta take the sour with the sweet. They did actually write a very comprehensive, very
The
good
sun
Fallout
always
timeline.
rises.
So if you're not very familiar with the Fallout universe, I would highly recommend you check it out. It's really well organized. Has a bunch of key events organized chronologically. From before the war to where the games take place now, and it's really well done. It was a good read. Even as someone who's played
Chosen of the
almost all the
sun.
Fallout games, who really knows the universe well, it was still really nice to see it all laid out, and it was really good.
Sweet.
how many hours have you played the game?
Oh God! Right now, I think I'm only like 50 hours in. At the
Only
moment.
50. Oh, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Damn it, Ryan!
you
You
tweet
have
me
to
again?
turn your damn phone off when
No,
you're
no.
on a show.
No, we're good.
I yelled at him twice about this already.
You were the cause of one of them.
Well, because you didn't turn your damn phone. It would have been causing nothing if your phone was off.
Anyway, by the way,
Let's
I
yell
finally.
at him. It only
Yeah.
makes sense if you
No,
yell.
I'm nodding like yeah.
He's on board.
You tell
You
him.
better wait until your father gets Gus. You can stay.
I feel like it's the we need to have someone manning the camera over here because Meg just slowly slides away. As the,
You get him, Gus. You tell him.
yeah,
I hope we come out with a taupe shirt.
it's a color.
That would be the tagline. Taupe. It's a color.
It's a color. I finally beat Phantom Pain.
Oh, welcome.
What a load of horse shit
Ever
that
Hey, what do you think about
story
Mission
is.
51?
Wait.
I think actually it was
Can
not
we-
bad. It's a while. I'm not gonna. I mean, we don't.
Okay.
What is there? There's only one spoiler in the whole game, and they spoil it themselves in the first 12 seconds of the game. Here's my favorite part. The spoiler takes place in an early mission, which you then have to play again.
Yeah, that was really annoying.
And it's the worst thing in the game. Sorry.
Meg is now drenched in spit.
I showered you with my hate. You should have moved further away. It's the worst experience of playing the game in the game.
Yeah.
And they're like, you
Chosen
should
of
do
the
it again.
sun.
I mean, we could just show you, but do the whole thing.
Can we just talk about this while the B-roll of Quiet rolling around in the puddle plays? Because
That's
I
you
didn't
now.
play this game, but I enjoyed that, so we could just get that B-roll.
My wife hated watching Metal Gear Solid. Specifically whenever I had quiet because she has that humming noise. Yeah. And she would be like, what?
That's
why
all the
fuck
time.
is she making that noise?
Rally to
So then,
me.
like, when I got to the end of the game and you do what you're talking about right now, it's like, didn't you already do this? sucks. Okay.
It's really interesting that Quiet hums because her freaking name is Quiet.
Well, there's a whole thing.
because
Like,
she
she
doesn't
can't
talk.
talk. Yeah.
Right, but
Can't.
she can just hum.
No, she
really
doesn't
annoyingly.
talk.
Well, she doesn't because if she does,
She can't.
This,
Oh,
yeah.
there it
Let's
is.
just keep it going.
I mean, there's a good reason for her not to talk.
sun
I did a
always
story.
rises.
That's a really weird slow-mo. I did a story. You cut out the best part. I did a story about. she rolls around in a puddle like. I did a story about Metal Gear, and
Ever vigilant.
I used that B-roll, and I couldn't figure. I haven't played it. I was like, is she a figment of his imagination because she disappears and then she comes back? I'm like, is he dreaming about her? And Ryan's like, no, it's nothing. You're thinking way too deep. She just can disappear.
No. She's got parasites.
Yeah.
Parasites make her go invisible. It makes
I
perfect
thought
sense.
it was like he was missing her or something, and so he was thinking, and that's what he was thinking about is her like
sun
just
always
drenching
rises.
herself in a puddle.
It's like an 80s music video, like some rock ballad.
Here's the thing. So that game has really good gameplay, though. It's like
Yeah.
a huge delta of ridiculous. I mean, whenever there is story,
Rally
it's
to me.
overperformed and just ridiculous dialogue. I mean, it's like it was written with a speaking script.
That's the
It's
style,
like,
man. You gotta buy into that. Like,
I can't do it.
I mean, for like
I
the whole
tried.
series, like especially for
Yeah.
the past games.
Chosen
The past
of the
games I
sun.
really enjoy. The gameplay is definitely much tighter on 5. If you did not like this story, you will hate every other game they've ever made.
Well, now, and I kind of had to look into it because, like, what am I supposed to take away from this? Like, and the fact that Mission 51 was left off is like, well, there was a whole thing where it's like, oh, the whole group of people leave and they take a giant weapon, and you're like, I guess they're gone.
Yeah.
Stay
I don't need
at
any
the
resolution to that storyline. Bye.
Yeah.
Uh,
you all have fun.
But then, yeah, they have this big reveal at the end, which, by the way, good way to ruin that reveal.
vanguard.
At the beginning, pick a really ridiculous face.
I'm kind of curious. After this, I'm gonna go see your face.
I once accidentally made a ridiculous face. I didn't mean to. It was Mass Effect 2, and there was a slider. I was like, oh, let's not do anything. And so I was like, I guess I put it to one side and forgot about it. And then I started the game, and my lady was like,
Vigilant.
she had like a duck bill of a mouth, and I had to play the whole fucking game with this duck-billed bitch.
I'm afraid of that. Like, whenever I make a character and if I don't see what a slider does, I always have to move to the profile. It's like in my head, I'm like, I'm just not seeing it because I've made this mistake before.
I should have, but I had to live with Duckbill McGee for the whole game.
Yeah, that's awful. That's too bad.
But Phantom good game to play.
Good game. Highly,
Just
highly
fuck the
recommend it.
story. Forget about it.
I thought I had 2 more bones to pick, but I don't
Have you played any StarCraft?
no. I gotta get through Fallout 4 before I play anything else.
I have no bones to
You
pick.
actually play StarCraft.
Yeah, I love StarCraft.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that about you.
Huge. I do remember my 2 bones. To pick. Okay, so we don't have much time. So,
Quick
Dig those bones.
I don't. So Conan O'Brien did one of his
They'll have
Clueless
to get
Gamer
through
skits
me.
about Fallout 4. I don't like that segment. I don't like Clueless Gamer. I
haven't
feel
seen
like
it.
it's just
It's
Conan
where he just
O'Brien-
like talks shit while people play games
right.
next to him.
He's like trying to appeal to a video game crowd by talking about how shitty people's video games are.
Isn't that
it's like-
what Jimmy Kimmel just did?
Yeah,
Very
same
similar.
kind of thing.
Shitty.
Like, and obviously, I mean, it must have received some kind of support because they've got like all these props and all the shit to
Oh,
do it.
yes, it
and,
did.
And it's like, I just don't like that. And I think I've said that before, and I just watched it again. I was like, then that made me think even more about other people I hate. I don't like these new GameStop TV commercials where it's like
TV commercials for GameStop?
they portray their employees like idiots and gamers like idiots.
What do they do?
It's like they're overacting, like super nerdy into video games,
ally
like
has
acting
been
out
slain.
scenes. Like,
Oh God, I gotta get the
Yeah.
latest version of
Oh,
Fallout 4.
What does Laura Croft's thunder cannon do in the game exactly?
What is that, like her tits? What is a thunder cannon?
I don't know.
She's got 2.
She's got
Or
two
it's
of
like
them.
they're talking about Assassin's Creed, so one of them like gets on top of the display case and jumps off in a swan dive. It's like, all right, I get it.
Can I just say, like, I have done. Oh,
Oh
here's
yeah,
it.
here
it
we
is.
are. Yeah, or like they're just like throwing shit.
Chosen of the
I
sun.
have previously worked at a GameStop, and oh no,
Yeah.
I was that ho hum looking girl in the commercial. Sorry. Anyway, no, I've worked at a GameStop, but I did when I was a spokesperson for Slim Jim. I did their little in-store DVD. I did like an ad with them. All of their ad reads are like, "Hey guys, do you like Fallout 4?
sun
You'll love
always
the new
rises."
Fallout 4 disc version on your hands." Like they're all like written like that. And they want you to say everything like that. Like they're a cheesy company.
Yeah.
Like they like the cheese.
I guess maybe it's both to the extent of the same the audience for that is a TV audience. So I feel like gamers are divergent.
Well, I think they're appealing to the moms and dads who are going to buy, who are like, I don't know what my kid wants, I'm going to buy them a GameStop
Exactly.
gift card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my kid's goofy like that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
it's,
moms and dads.
they're geared up for that Christmas rush. We're like, I don't know what to get Timmy, but he's a dork.
Love, get him a gift card.
There's so many things we can get to. I want to talk about. Game Awards are coming back. Jeff
Yep.
Keighley's doing it again. I'm super excited about that. I think I hope that, I wish him nothing but the best of Jeff. I do not hate Jeff Keighley.
Oh, wow.
Good job. No bone to pick.
What about the other guy?
We should get you a graphic that's like, boom.
Gus approved.
That's approved. It's good.
Who was it that it was like
Oh,
Jeff Keighley and
oh, yeah.
the guy from
It was Joel McHale.
Joel
wasn't it?
McHale, there you go. Yeah,
that's-
who just
Oh my god, he was like this. The fucking Game Award. He was like so over it.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
basically was thinking about firing his agent while he was reading the copy for
Yeah.
the Game Awards.
Yeah.
It's awful.
I was not a Joel McHale fan.
No.
But I am a Jeff Keighley.
assume he will not be back. Okay.
Game Awards, Xbox One backwards compatibility comes out tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excited about that.
Which we were so bummed we missed it for the stream. We were talking about playing
Yeah.
all these things for 360. Really.
Here's the thing, though. Were several notable titles, like the highest voted titles that they wanted backwards compatibility with,
Rally
didn't make the
to
list.
me.
Like Red Dead Redemption. What was the other
Well,
one?
according to Microsoft, it's on the developer.
I assume, yeah, and I can see how Rockstar probably would want to take the time. But
According to Microsoft, it's just a checkbox. Again, that's their marketing material that they said. It's like,
you gotta play test it though. You gotta imagine that you gotta do the checkbox. But if you're talking about play testing Red Dead Redemption end to end with all the side stuff,
Okay, I have a dumb question. So things have to be. So not everything is going to be backwards compatible. So I can't go get like indie games that were once on the 360 for the Xbox One, or I can.
you cannot unless they have approved themselves for backwards compatibility.
I mean, I don't know what the details are. Basically, all it's doing is the Xbox One for the
Right.
360, right down to the dash.
Right.
It's really cool. But yeah, so they have to rebuild it.
All right, well, we're over time. So, I feel like I got both pretty hard, really.
You didn't get spit on.
Bye. Sorry, slowest fight save ever.
Ally has been slain. Chosen of the sun. Shut down. Your turret has been destroyed.
Hey, it's Game Club.
Game Club, where we're talking about our favorite
Shut
mayonnaise
down.
and our favorite sandwiches.
It's just dumb
An
that they put
enemy
the
has
tomatoes
been
on.
slain.
They do the oil and vinegar because it
Right.
just bounces right
Right.
off the tomatoes.
Absolutely.
I mean, tomatoes have holes in them.
They gotta put the oil and vinegar
Rally
under
to
the
me.
bread
Yeah.
before they do everything else.
Yup.
But then you just get really soggy bread.
You gotta eat it right
Right,
away.
then you eat it right
You gotta
away.
take it to go.
No, you vinegar, you just get it right over the top of all the stuff, and then it kind of
No.
It
seeps
just
down.
goes off of it though.
Yeah.
It's just running off the side.
It's like you have Rain-X on your
Yes.
fucking sandwich and it's just...
Exactly.
Anyway, welcome
Club.
to Game Club.
Just get mayo.
We're actually going to be talking about games, specifically
One.
the Stanley Parable.
It's actually our whole sandwich talk is actually like a deconstructed
It's
idea
true, yeah.
of what a human life
An
is.
ally has
It's
been
an
slain.
examination of the sandwich experience.
Right.
And all of the choices presented when it comes to dealing with sandwiches.
That's what we planned it. That's how we set this up.
I'm just hungry because Ryan took so long.
We got some Rudy's over there. You want some Rudy's?
Whoa, you look at you eating fucking lunch and I'm over here starving. Anyway.
Gus
So
knew.
the Stanley, I'll eat some after this. The Stanley Parable started as, I feel like I've been so
I know.
It started as a mod for Half-Life 2, and it's now its own standalone game, which you can get, I don't know all the platforms it's on. I played it on Steam,
Yeah, we played on Steam.
but it's
I think we
$15.
just determined that was it. It is on Steam.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
it? Okay. And it's a game where you play someone
Your
in an
turret
office,
has been
and there's a
destroyed.
narrator talking about your life, and he narrates
will
the
protect
choices
you.
that are presented. And it's just like there's no combat, there's nothing really to the game other than like walking around, exploring the space.
Yeah, it's very gung ho.
Yeah, it's a game about choices.
I mean,
Stay
entirely.
at the bonfire.
Including up to the point of, do you embrace the narration and the narrative that's laid out, or do you just completely say, no, that's not what I'm going to do, and go the opposite direction?
Right, so the narrator,
First
for
light
example, might say
approaches.
there were 2 doors in front of him. He chose, the person chose to go through the right door, and you make sure, well, fuck that, go through the left.
There are, when I first started playing,
You made a good
My character just kept shooting non-stop, and I was like, okay, that's a weird mechanic. The character's just always shooting,
has been slain.
and you just point your character where you want, stuff
sun
killed. And
always
I realized, oh no, the controller's broken. Like the trigger is just constantly pulled. Like I played like the first hour and a half of that game, and somebody else saw me like, why are you always shooting? Like, oh, is that not the game?
yeah, oh shit.
Did you never run into a friendly and wonder why you're just pegging him in the head?
It was that terrible game, Wet.
Not bomb has been destroyed.
But so Stanley Parable, I think it's fine. I was a little frustrated. I felt like
There's like 3 different endings.
right, but it's like in the end. So like they tell you, like for example, there's an example like there's 2 doors, a right door and a left door, and then regardless of what you choose, I feel like you're just getting to the ending. I don't know. I felt like there should be more choice. Like you should have been able to break out, like do something that there is no narration. But I guess that's
I think at some point the not thing to do is just leave. Like you just turn around and go the opposite direction.
Well, some ones that very first corner it said I used to go down to the basement where there's that car, and then that becomes you go backwards. Like you're stuck in the once you're in the loop, you're stuck. And so like you're not playing stars and you levitate and all that. And you just die.
Yeah.
And if they all end up with him dying, with this guy.
No.
Oh, and all mine I died. So
I don't think I ever have.
I died when I went to the basement because it's like he starts hallucinating and then he just died. And then I went up to the break room, but then I went into like this weird loading bay and it was like, you have to call her. Like this has all been about, this isn't about you, Stanley, this is about her. And I was like, ooh, what is this gonna be about? And then I was on a phone with a room and it was a girl who was like, I'm gonna make you dinner. And then she was a mannequin and then the mirror was me. Haha, I'm just kidding, there's no woman, no one loves you. And then it became like, as I pressed more buttons, it was like, you're in your office still. Like, why don't you? And then it was like, stop pushing buttons. But then I would choose not to push the button and nothing would happen. Like, it would just, like, nothing would happen. Time would go by.
I think there's a Steam achievement. One of them is to like try to open a locked
First
door
light
100 times or
approaches.
something. It's like there's a door that you can't open. So they do that a lot, where they'll put something in front of you and tell you not to do it, but then in the end you get rewarded for doing it.
Yeah, although when I got into the one that was like the girl who opens the door at the
sun
apartment and it's the
always
mannequin or
rises.
whatever, and he's like fucking with you, she opened the door and he was like, haha, there's no woman, I've been fucking with you. And so I backed out and was like, screw this, I'm going down the hall, and he like collapsed the hall onto me and was like, no, you're stuck in my story. And I was like, well, so great, I can't do anything but be stuck in your
Chosen
shitty
of the
story.
sun.
In that way, I felt a lot of. It reminded me a lot of like Portal and Portal 2, like the dynamic between Cell and Gladys.
Narrator and the characters.
Right, yeah, like what's going on in the
They
game.
will be
That
summoned.
there are not really any puzzles to solve other than, I mean, the puzzle of this game is what sequence of events leads to what. And does make it, you're gonna basically be confronted with a series
I
of
must not
choices,
fall.
and the choices you make it doesn't, it's not like flexibility. In a way, greater than it's they're not like branches that like, I get it's kind of amusing at times. It's very
Interesting game. It's an experience. I will say, definitively, certainly not worth $15.
Not worth $15. I feel like
I thought
a broken record.
$5
$5 would have
maybe.
been fine. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. If you see it on the street for like $5, pick it up, play it. Yeah, I think, you know, all told, if you, depending on the choices you make, you could probably get start not a test, but an actual
Stay at the vanguard.
an hour and a half.
Oh, interesting.
2
Because I
hours?
played for 25 minutes and I got 2 deaths.
But
Yeah, I mean, it's
Did I ever do everything you were told to do?
no.
sometimes yes.
Ever
sometimes no.
vigilant.
Because I tried, I couldn't stop myself. Every time he was like, do this, I'd be like, never do what I was told. Immediately. The only choice I ever made that he told me to make was going to music once. After I did this, it was great. But then, here,
I just love the last and that it's, you know, very thoughtful and makes you think about game design and things like that. It's like, well, yeah, but
I will break their line.
yeah, it's not
When did it
bad.
come out?
I think 2013.
So it maybe in its time, it was more like, did we have Gone Home then? I don't think so. I think that was 2014.
This
Very end it.
I think actually the mod first came out in 2011, and then it got released as a standalone in 2013.
Yeah, so maybe like in 2011 it was, or
it was definitely one of the earlier experience games.
yeah.
Like of the modern variety. But
Yeah, and so I get why it's compared to Gone Home. I mean, it's very much the same thing. There's no like combat, you know, story, but I thought, you know, Gone Home does it much better. I feel like the story and the way that everything is together in Gone Home.
There could be an achievement in Gone
First
Home for
light
telling the
approaches.
very story about your sister 100 times. You can't. It doesn't let you do that. You got to put it down. I
is it
tried
blurred
twice.
out? I forgot.
No, it's like she starts reading it. She's like, and then I took off her. Oh, I don't want to read this. And then I'd be like, try and pick it back up. She's like, I'm not picking it up. Like she gets mad.
seriously, you're a perv. Stop
Seriously,
it.
it's my sister, you freak.
Which in this context is her yelling at herself. We're ready to pick a new game. So yeah, pick it up if you get it on sale. But otherwise,
I will protect you.
What will it be?
brrrr. Well, I used to do the song, and then I was told that it was done. And it
The
never.
sun always
Community
rises.
suggestion: Tower of Guns.
Sounds intriguing.
Tower of Gun. I wonder if it's like a literal tower constructed of 45 magnums.
The sun's glory.
No, just 45 magnums.
It was like this.
I'm building it right now in my mind.
Why are you building so willy-nilly?
Look, it's a loose framework of 45s
It's just,
that will eventually. It's gonna
I
be.
feel like it's very helpful. I know what's good
Don't
about it.
question my structural engineering, okay?
All right, we'll see you guys next time for Tower of Guns.
Oh, this one's loaded.
Need eyes on her. Do.
Chosen of the sun. At the vanguard.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Amount of Kovic. And I'm Bruce Green. And you're probably wondering how much did Fallout 4 sell? I am always wondering that every day. Well, despite the disappearing faces and weird health concerns, Fallout 4 is on track to be the most successful game Bethesda Software has ever published. I'm not surprised. That's better than Oblivion, better than Skyrim, better than X-Car experimental racing. Okay. Everyone was watching. It's great. So as expected, when a game sells fucking gangbusters, Bethesda released a statement today bragging about just how many new Vault 111 dwellers are poking around the wastelands, scrapping up TIE fighters and tires.
Lawrence, do we have any sales data?
Oh, not yet. It usually takes a while to get approximate units sold. You got to get all the reports from all the stores, and even then, it's not going to have digital in there. Bethesda did release their day one shipments though, which sit at 12 million.
12 million?
Yeah, this nearly doubles the initial shipments for Skyrim, which were actually 7 million back in November of 2011.
Yeah, granted, shipment numbers don't directly correlate to sales. They're more a function of pre-order numbers, though there's obviously a connection between pre-order numbers and sales.
As always. In fact, UK retailer Games third-party content manager Mandip Bachu, did I get that right? Okay. stated that we expect sales of Fallout 4 to surpass those of Skyrim, and he said that back in June based on the game's pre-order numbers.
That's how you know. The game also set concurrent user records on Steam, which we can more accurately report on since those numbers are publicly visible. Fallout 4 topped out at almost 470,000 concurrent players this week, which sets a record for a non-Valve game.
Yeah, that beats the previous record holder Grand Theft Auto 5, which hit 360,000 at its peak, and before that, Big Mama Skyrim at 90,000.
Well, when the game's $5, everyone's playing it.
That's true.
Just for context, though, Valve-developed games blow those numbers out of the water.
Of course.
Counter-Strike Go ranked up almost 820,000 concurrent users, while Dota 2 is a MOBA queen at 1.2 million.
Lawrence, did Fallout 4 beat Skyrim or what? Tell us right now.
Yes, probably.
All right,
I mean, in all the
okay.
ways we can see, absolutely. It has more active players and higher shipments. But we won't know for sure until Bethesda releases full sales numbers, if they ever do. Sometimes that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Still, all the metrics we can see now point to Fallout 4 cleanly sweeping Skyrim in sales. And Skyrim is not slouched, that's charming. Most of the parts we have on Skyrim sales were buried in the press release that was out June 2013 about Elder Scrolls Online. This can kind of show you how reticent some of these companies are to actually put out sales data.
Yeah.
They only talked about Skyrim sales data to prop up Elder Scrolls Online, and that's the only time they talk about it. So tucked way down in there, back in 2013, Bethesda actually confirmed that Skyrim had sold 20 million units at that point.
But that's also with Steam sales and everything else, and how many, I don't know. Either way, at that point, you can't really factor in like a $60 ratio, and then also different countries, so you can't really attach a number to it. That's kind of the frustrating part. But if Fallout 4 is on track to beat that, it automatically puts it at the top 25 selling games of all time. Well, 26, but that number isn't as clean or fun.
So it's the top 26, right, Lawrence?
Top 26, whatever. I mean, it's probably a little higher than that. 25th one is just a little barely over, so it's fine.
Well, I mean, since it already beat GTA 5's Steam concurrent record, that may indicate it could outsell that game. I would be very surprised if it did that. For reference, GTA 5 is currently the 4th best-selling game ever at 54 million copies.
Really? Oh my god.
It's unbelievable. The only three beating that are Minecraft, Wii
must
Sports,
not
and
fall.
Tetris.
Oh my god damn.
Yeah.
So, Fallout 4 beats Minecraft? Giant question mark?
Clickbait, clickbait, clickbait.
See you in a year.
I'm stern and crotchety.
Why is Gloomy Gus? Gloomy Gruss.
Gloomy Gruff.
Gus is gloomy.
Oh,
God.
look, there we go.
There he
Huh?
goes.
Feels better
One of
now.
those saddest Joel. No, I don't want to hurt him. Joel massages are the worst things in the world. Pussy. by the way.
Dana's like, man, I could really use a massage.
Hey everyone, I'm Adam.
And I'm Lawrence.
And we used to do this thing a long time ago where we would review games.
Sort of.
We wouldn't have happened. Well, we wouldn't give them a score. The scores are done.
We like to talk. We like to share our opinions and then leave the scores to people who like ours.
Why do I have to give a thing a number? And why does that number matter?
Oh, people like arguing.
So, both Lawrence and I have been playing a lot of Halo 5.
Yeah.
We have opinions.
So, and I guess another part of our disclaimer about this review process is that we both kind of played at our own pace, which means that we may not have like the top to bottom scholastic evaluation of a game. We just kind of fuck around with it, and then we think about things.
I try to think of it as comment.
Yeah, there
The
you
common
go.
man's review.
We're bringing game journalism back to the people.
Anyway, let's do it. So first I want to talk about the story. This is, I think this is the big point of contention for a lot of people, especially myself as a Halo fan, but I'm going to let you go first, Lawrence.
Oh man, I was really underwhelmed. So Halo 5 has a good sense of scale. I'll say that there's a lot of big stuff happening. It's kind of an extension from Halo 4 in that regard, but man, by the end of it, nothing happened.
Well, give me a rundown of what is the story?
Okay, well, that's an interesting point. Is it the story as they presented it to you, or the story as it is? Because the story as they sell it to you is that Master Chief's gone rogue, and he's out doing space things, presumably having something to do with Cortana, and Spartan Locke is after him to bring him back in the inn.
Yeah.
Because he's rogue, and he's crazy. He's crazy, man. No, it doesn't happen.
Oh.
Essentially, Chief is out he's chasing Cortana, Locke is chasing Chief, and the entire game is them chasing after each other. Nothing happens in the middle. They have like a brief interlude where they drop in on the Arbiter, like, hey Arbiter, how's that Civil War going? Cool, peace out. And nothing happens there. And then in the very last level, something happens. But that has nothing to do with the actions of Chief or Locke.
So essentially, both Chief and Locke could have just stayed asleep for the entirety of Halo 5, and it would have ended exactly the same way.
It's like the Godzilla of video games.
Yeah, but Godzilla had a big-ass dinosaur.
It did, and this one has giant guardians
that never do anything. They just sit there.
Hey.
There's a part at the end where the guardian's about to like click on and fuck something up, and then nothing happens again.
What I felt like, I got a big Halo 2 vibe from this. Like, this is a big build-up for the epic conclusion or some sort of like third chapter. The problem was, the Halo 2 at least ended with an ending that left me wanting more. This one, sadly, just kind of fizzled, and I'm sure, I guess spoilers here or whatever.
Yeah, this is going to be a spoilery thing, so.
I mean, yeah, tune out right now if you don't want to hear anything, but I think they're setting up Cortana to be, you know, the villain.
Of course, yeah.
And the next one, and she can have sort of split personalities in different ways or whatever, so maybe it's a good one and a bad one, I don't know. Either way, I was really underwhelmed.
Red Cortana and a blue Cortana?
I think the Halo stories are typically pretty good. They usually are done in the same way, where it's very Star Wars, where it kind of happens within a 1 to 2 week span. That's sort of what happens. All the games are pretty much the same. I think maybe ODST is the only one because it has a flashback element. So I didn't really expect anything from that, but it did just feel like they were in a rush to get through the story, and it really bothered me, especially with the way the ad campaign sold it. Where I typically don't get mad at those, except it kept reinforcing these ideas that I had that I was right about where they were going with the story, and it didn't go there. I had already assumed that Chief they're basing it off of the Halo 4, God forbid, right? Where there was sort of this animosity towards this character. But in this one, they're like, well, Chief just does whatever he wants. Like, when did this happen? I don't know. Like, they set him up where he's just out doing his own thing. And, Blue Team's back, by the way. Like, nothing was really explained. It all just kind of felt like fan service, and it bugs me as a fan.
Yeah. The thing that I've grown to like about Halo is that there are things that are unexplained, but those things seem to point to a larger world that is constructed and makes sense. So it kind of excites your imagination. There are these, like, I think you were mentioning Halo 2. Halo 2 at least had those tugs, like it had the Overmind, right? Gravemind. See, how much I know about Halo, but at least there was something weird in there. There was a poetry spewing piranha plant that grabbed Chief and was like telling him all this big lore shit. And as a player, you're like, well, that probably means something, and you're trying to piece together the larger world of Halo. Here, it's like the only nod you get to the larger world is there are Guardians, and there is a Warden. And they just kind of float around, and they are tools of this other thing that is kind of explained. It's all very quantifiable and known, which is a weird situation to be in when it comes to Halo.
It is sort of this odd thing where it sort of feels like it's starting to feel more like a video game to me and less of a story. And I've always preached that I find gameplay to be more fun than story, except when it comes to Halo, because I feel like they have such a beautiful world and the universe that they crafted. And when the Forerunners are just kind of there, it just feels like they're there just to and now they're just, now that, you know, the flood is gone, we sort of need to fill in these gaps, but it just feels sort of like the surprise is gone. And it was just, overall, the story was really disappointing, and for me personally, it's my least favorite story of the season.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way, and also I love to bag on Halo's story, so it's kind of down there. But oddly, like, I'm glad that you said it the way you did. Maybe my least favorite Halo story, but it was my most fun to play.
Oh, totally, yeah. So let's move on to the next part, actually. The controls. The controlling of the game, I'll say right off the bat, is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's weird how different it is, because so there was that you know, Halo intro that came out, which shows Fireteam Osiris just like running down a mountain and massacring everybody. And I remember seeing that and thinking that never really felt like Halo to me, because in Halo you were big and slow and you have these giant jumping arcs and big guns that go bang bang. Now Halo 5, you've got like mantling and boosting and hovering while you aim down sights and all this stuff. It feels a lot more nimble. Everyone likes to say it's more Call of Duty-esque.
Sure.
It is in the sense that it's faster and more responsive, and I like that. It doesn't feel like Call of Duty to me, though.
I think what it does is it borrows elements. I think Halo found a way to stay relevant, because try going back and playing Master Chief Collection, you feel like you need like molasses, especially in today's world. When the game's running at 60 frames per second, you kind of want to move quicker, and it carries over from single player to multiplayer, I think, flawlessly. It is, they changed enough, but it didn't go too crazy that it felt too out of place. Like it didn't, you know, you're not shooting rockets out of your hand or anything like that. They kept the elements that made Halo Halo, and I thought I was going to hate ground pound and that sort of thing. I ended up using it way more than I thought I would. So all the new moves, I think it makes sense in today's generation.
Yeah, and the options they open up for multiplayer are really exciting. So in single player, I was a little underwhelmed. It seems like the extent of monster design in single player was you have to shoot it in the back. So it's like, okay, dodge around, command your AI dudes. If you're playing co-op, you can shoot it in the back, but it's like they added 3 new enemy sets, they're all shoot them in the back. Whereas in multiplayer, the exchange between the boost and like the unlimited recharge on it, the ground pound, and the shoulder charge are all really interesting to me. It kind of creates this rock, paper, scissors in my head of things you can do, especially when you know if somebody's already used their cooldown. Like if somebody comes in for a ground charge, or a ground pound, you know you've got a couple of seconds on them before they can move again. If somebody boosted out of the way, you know you've got a couple of tricks you can pull on them because they can't get out of the way again. I don't know, it adds a layer of mind games to Halo, where Halo was already a pretty mind gaming kind of shooter.
I always called it basically the chess or the chess of shooters, where or like
it's all about positioning.
Yeah, or rock paper scissors, where you have these 3 moves: melee, grenades, gun. And now you're adding basically additions to those elements, but they aren't so extreme that I found them to be distracting. Actually, I found that they help the game move, and that was the thing. I wasn't really enjoying the story of Halo 5, but I was having a good time because it's just fun to kill shit. Let's move over to the pretty graphics.
Those goddamn 3 wardens are on you. Man, okay, so I had been feeling more and more depressed about the state of Xbox One. Not that I'm like emotionally tied to it, but I want every little hunk of plastic to have its own little baby. And the PS4 has had some really fucking amazing looking games. Until Dawn is astounding. Even Killzone Shadowfall looked really, really good.
It was a launch game.
Yeah, right? And the Xbox One had yet to get, I mean, Rise was good. It was good. But Halo 5 to me is the technical game that the Xbox needed to prove, like, I can still punch weight here. Man, the 60 FPS, I mean, it does have a scaling resolution. There was like one level where I could tell, it was like, ooh, this is pretty low. A little grainy, but it looks really good otherwise.
Right, I mean, at the end of the day, we've always said this before, if you want a PC,
yeah, that's true.
Drop the $800 to $1,600 down on a machine that's going to do it. At the end of the day, this is a budget piece of classic that's running a game. And the fact that it is running at 60 frames per second is pretty solid. I'm impressed. And I'm a bit more forgiving of the compromises that they made. They can see mostly the single player. I haven't seen much of it in multiplayer, but you do see this weird sort of thing with the enemies where they're running at, like, they look like GIFs. Yeah. Just kind of like running in the background. You're like, that's strange, but I get it. It's a draw distance thing. They did a lot of tricks, and I'm actually really glad that they locked down the 60 frames. I think that was worth it.
Yeah, the more I play it, the more tricks I can see. There's certain things like explosion effects start disappearing. I've noticed some of the Forerunner dudes, you know when you shoot them, they explode into this like cool fractal cloud and then collapse again? That stops happening when there's a lot of dudes on screen, and it's entirely to save frame rate. And that's okay. I mean, that's the goal of good game design, is that you kind of sweep all that stuff under the rug so people don't notice. It is a little noticeable in 5, but not so much.
Yeah, and I know we get real into nitty-gritty sometimes, and I think we sometimes forget what's actually important when it comes to video games, because I know we look at different Ps and different resolution and different frame rates, but a lot of it comes down to the art direction and how good they hide a lot of those flaws. And I think the art direction in Halo is amazing. Like when you go to certain alien worlds, these like Forerunner worlds, like they're really pretty. They're so pretty.
So Adam, you played a lot more multiplayer than I have, which is to say you played any amount of multiplayer. I actually haven't done any of it yet.
Yeah, they did something really pretty interesting with the multiplayer this time around. I think they looked at the Halo audience, and they split it into 2 groups. They said these are the guys who want to have fun, and these guys who want pro. I've seen it play different ways, and I think for too long they were trying to mash the two, and finally they just put a really fine line and said, all right, we got Arena and we got Warzone. Go nuts, kids. And so Arena is basically everything is balanced. Everything makes sense. There's pickups on the ground. You start with an AR. You start with a pistol. There's no loadouts. There's none of that bullshit. I mean, like, I didn't really heart bad on it when Halo 4 came out, but the more I played it, I really hated the loadout system.
Yeah.
And the way it didn't work for Halo, and the way they've done it now, they've pulled it way back. And now that everyone has an even playing field, and everyone has the same armor abilities, it's good.
Yeah? You feel good? Feel good about it?
I've been having a great time.
I feel pro on Halo 5?
I am not pro. Halo has always been a game that I've strived to be better at, and playing this one, it's the sort of game where a really good game is easy to learn, impossible to master. Yeah. And that is sort of what Halo is doing. And now the fact that it's running at such a nice frame rate, and there's this $850 controller out there that'll apparently make me a god. I'm like, I'm way more invested in this right now. I'm like, my crack used to be Destiny, and I played Destiny multiplayer. Now Halo's so good, the multiplayer is so damn good that like I'm just gonna probably be playing that.
You said the Raider got smaller too, right?
The Raider, from what I understand, that it got reduced from 30 meters to 18 meters. At this point right now, that's kind of my biggest gripe, is that the radar seems somewhat useless, but I think I've actually gotten some really good kills. It only really works for vertical,
right?
Basically now, where you can tell if someone's above you. I wish they would extend it for stuff like Warzone, and then maybe keep it for the same size for the arena multiplayer stuff. But then one of the new modes, Breakout, I think is pretty cool. It's a very reminiscent of Counter-Strike. It's basically you have one life. When you die, you're out.
Okay.
And it's first to 5, so there's either an objective or it's just straight kills. But very simplified maps, very bare bones, just blue, and they seem to be catering to. It's kind of crazy. They are catering to every walk of Halo life without really pissing anyone off.
And how do you feel about the rec pack system? I know that was potentially going to ruffle some feathers before it actually came out, but people seem cool with it now.
I wasn't sure. I mean, I like it. They're just doing what everyone else does, and I think it's smart. It's you're opening crates. That's it, and they're not charging you for it, so you can save up points in the game that you get, or you can lay money down. And what I like about this overall is that it's gonna take the place of paid maps. So there will be new maps. This is what they've said. I'm not factoring this into a review or anything, but from what they've said, these rec packs I'm really curious to see what the numbers are gonna be from those, what people are dumping on those things, but they're just doing the CSGO model where we'll keep giving you new maps, we'll give you new stuff, and like I said, Forge isn't out yet, and so people are gonna be making new stuff like that. But ideally, we will get a never-ending piece of content because there will be a different way of funding the game. If you don't know what Warzone is, I'll explain it to you.
Sure.
It's essentially the replacement for Big Team Battle. Right now, it feels like a big mess from what I've played because people don't really know what they're doing. They just get out there.
There's no coordination.
No, they're playing it like Slayer, and
Gotcha.
killing other players doesn't really get you that many points. I noticed killing like a Promethean Knight or one of those things, like that will net you a bigger score.
Really?
But the thing I really like is the vehicle spawns. Typically in Big Team Battle, it'd always be one guy sitting there waiting. He'd get into the tank, and then someone would kill him, and then take the tank, and then drive away. Thanks. Now you do the booster pack, you buy your card or whatever, and if you don't have a Scorpion, you can't call in a Scorpion. So now there's incentive to keep playing it so you can get these cards, and it's all RNG, so that you can have a Scorpion in the match, and when you spawn the Scorpion, you're in it. It's yours. You spawn inside of it, and you drive out, and people get in, and I've seen less assholes online, basically, people trying to kill you and take your shit. They're just moving on. And then same with like the power weapons. I don't know if you've seen any of those, but like you get certain weapons with like perks that are like slightly they're a little overpowered, and that's the part that kind of throws off the balance. But if you kill that guy, you can take his weapon. It's kind of nice. So they still found a way of making this insane mode fun.
You said you had complaints though.
I do wish there was more AI on screen. Like I do
see.
wish it was a bit more chaotic. Something similar like Titanfall. Like there's usually just 3 Marines in a base because you have to kill them and then you can take a base over. And there's like kind of this cool element to it where you have to take over these bases, and once those are locked down, you can go take down the power node. So there was actually a time where we were losing points-wise, but our team managed to take over the 3 bases, and we moved in and we took down the power node even though we were down 300 points.
Oh, wow.
So you can turn it, which I did like. It's like, so there is like a weird level of balance because we just rolled in with a bunch of tanks because of the way the rec points work.
That's pretty cool.
It's interesting. Like I said, it's kind of cool, and I'm really curious to see. I think we need more maps. I would ideally like maybe a slightly smaller map, just something. But supposedly those are going to be free, so we'll see what happens.
And what's your verdict on Arena?
Arena, I play it. It's good. I think it's the best the multiplayer has been since 3.
Ooh.
Yeah. Or, I mean, maybe Reach. Reach had some of its problems.
Reach had armor lock.
Had armor lock. But I did like the idea that they added sprint and some other things like the DMR and things like that. But I'm having such a blast with it. Like, I'm looking forward to playing
The dawn has arrived.
The problem is there's just too many games coming up. But if you were to ask me, like, hey, let's play a multiplayer game, I would say, yeah, let's play Halo before any other game. Even Overwatch, Spool.
So, as an ultimate Halo fan, you give this. How many Cortanas you throw at this game?
I can't. I give it a solid 7 Cortanas out of 10 Master Chiefs.
If every Halo were lined up before you and they all worked, and you could get into a multiplayer match for any of them, which one would you grab?
It falls somewhere. It's tough to say. Like I said, the story to me was lacking. It didn't strike my fancy, and it sucks because I'm such a lore nut, and I really do like the story, and it really sucks being a Halo fan and feeling like I'm not interested in the story anymore.
Aww.
That doesn't feel good. I don't like that feeling, so it hurts me there. But the multiplayer is so good, and the game is just, from a technical standpoint, is such an accomplishment. So it falls. I can't really. I mean, I don't know. I'll make a chart one day, but I mean, look, if you have to buy one Halo on the next gen system, maybe get Master Chief Collection, but also you should get this one because it's pretty good.
So buy all Halos.
Buy all the Halos. I'm a big, like I said, if you are a Halo fan, if you're only in it for the single player, it's probably not the sort of thing you want to check out. But if you even have any interest in multiplayer, for the love of God, please check it out. It's fun. It's just fun to jump in there with your friends or alone and just kind of learn the mechanics of the game, because if you want to get good, you can get good.
There you go. As somebody who doesn't like playing online much, I'm really excited to get into Halo just because they finally made it feel welcoming to me, which doesn't make a lot of sense, and I don't know quite how to quantify that. But when I look through all the unlocks and all the crazy shit you can do and like the different modes, and I guess the biggest thing about Warzone to me is it's the perfect like dabble your toe in mode, because nobody gives a fuck what you're doing, and you can accidentally kill yourself and your entire team multiple times and no one will be able to tell. So it's like that chaos kind of masks your badness with the game, and it also gives you kind of a cloak of anonymity. And then once maybe you feel like you're good, you can go into arena and get your ass wrecked over and over again.
You know what, actually, this 100% does remind me of Halo 2, because I remember I played Halo 2 almost non-stop multiplayer until Halo 3 came out. So I think actually Halo 5 is the game that you could potentially play the multiplayer, especially if they support it the way they said, until Halo 6 gets announced and we can finally get the story that I think we deserve.
Well, there you go,
in
guys.
some way.
Halo 5 is the best Halo until Halo 6.
That's how I kind of feel.
We're really harsh here.
I need to draw that chart.
Yeah, get on it.
7 Cortanas. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's
a good score.
14 robot boobs.
Put that on Metacritic.
She's intimidating because she's naked.
Hey, let us know if you want more of these sort of review games. I know we got Assassin's Creed and Fallout around the corner.
No!
What, really?
Joel says no.
Well, I've been playing Assassin's Creed, and I have things I want to say about it. So if you like it, let us know, please. Let us know in many different ways that you can interact with YouTube.
Yeah, and share it with your friends, because we need views.
Tell your friends. Don't burp.
Loud noises! Welcome to The Know, I'm Meg Turney, and if you think your user review for Call of HaloCraft 19 is going to make a huge difference, well, think again, because according to a recent study by the Journal of Consumer Behavior, user reviews for video games just don't matter as much as professional video game reviews. But don't worry, we still read all of the comments and care about what you have to say. Yes, we read all of them. The study, which was published earlier this month, claims that at the end of the day, word of mouth just isn't as important as review scores from major review outlets. The researchers saw that a 10% lift in review scores can affect video game sales by as much as 18%. Now, this is especially surprising considering that we live in a world of subreddits, tweets, vlogs, etc., with more people getting their reviews from streamers and online personalities than professional video game critics. The data may depend on age, however. The research indicates mature gamers are much more discerning in their choice of which games to buy, and that they perhaps pay greater attention to professional critics than younger gamers do. This could be because they have less free time, so they want to make sure they don't waste it by playing a low-quality game. So if you're young, you've got more time to play all the bad games you want, while the rest of us die, one day at a time. While this data certainly is interesting, it eventually finds a way to go way off the rails by suggesting that developers and Metacritic work more closely together. It recommends that publishers make increased use of Metacritic scores when forming contracts with development studios, similar to a performance-related pay agreement. This better aligns the incentives of both parties and might help ensure that developers prioritize the quality of gameplay experience over other factors. Yeah, we've actually seen some of that before, and it really never turns out too well. Just last year, Bungie allegedly missed out on a $2.5 million bonus from Activision for the Metacritic score of Destiny, even though the game sold super well. Likewise, Matt Burns of Shade-Grown Games wrote back in 2008 that publishers try to focus on making games that reviewers tend to like, just to up the Metacritic score, which limits creativity in gaming and leads to publishers not taking risks. So, yeah, let's file that one under a big bad idea. Random research dudes, if I can call you that. It should be no surprise that not everyone agrees with the study, of course. In an ESA report released earlier this year, the Entertainment Software Association concluded that only 3% of gamers surveyed said that professional reviews played a part in what games they bought, while 11% said word of mouth was the most important factor, followed closely by pre-order bonuses and the inclusion of cats in the game's marketing. Just kidding about those last two, of course, but I really would love cats in more games. Wouldn't everyone else? But surely this focus on big publication reviews isn't the case for all games. I mean, what about Steam, which puts its user reviews front and center? That's a bit more tricky now, of course. While Steam reviews can majorly turn the tide for small releases, GamesIndustry.biz crunched some of the data last year that indicated that neither player reviews on Steam nor Metacritic seem to have much of an impact on sales. So really, I mean, nobody seems to know whether or not reviews matter, except for, of course, game reviewers who I'm pretty sure think they're important. With so many conflicting studies about this, it makes you wonder how much confirmation bias is part of the video game reviews and whether or not people really make up their minds about a game long before the game's even released. I mean, it could be argued that gamers are essentially just waiting for a review score or a negative comment to echo what they've already assumed about a game, good or bad, and that it doesn't really affect their purchasing decisions. It seems that even though gamers overall tend to trust reviewers less, they still want to see how their most anticipated games fare on release day. Hell, we can only look into the mind of every SSJ4 Halo god, see if he really intends to cancel his Battlefront pre-order based on reviews, or if he even had the game pre-ordered to begin with. We might have a clearer picture here. So what do you guys think about this study? Do you find reviews overall helpful, or do you listen to your friends? What makes you decide to buy a game? Let us know everything in the comments down below. Don't forget to stay informed about game reviews and all that good stuff. Like and subscribe so you can know what we know and be in the know on this show. Heart you? Well, think again, because according to a recent study, well, think again, because according to a recent study, recent study.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Madam Kovic.
And I'm Bruce Green. Don't forget to stop money. I know. Well, I gotta. Sometimes I forget. Okay.
Anyway, it's been over 10 years, but it's almost time for a new Star Wars Battlefront.
And yeah, before you slam the comments telling us about that PSP Battlefront, that one doesn't count. We're talking about big console releases.
We're talking about games people actually play.
Not the PSP Battlefront. Adam even got to play it over the weekend. Look at him all shiny with his EA Access and pre-orders.
No, I just flew up to San Francisco and played it with Kind of Funny. They had it on PS4.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, no one was on the servers. It was sad. Oh. Yeah, don't try to do air assault. It's pointless. So given that this is shaping up to be an awesome game, we played the beta and we enjoyed it. That is, if you are not super pissed about the lack of space battles.
Fuck you.
We were actually wondering here at the office, will Star Wars Battlefront be the best game based on a movie?
It wouldn't be a Star Wars discussion unless we made a bunch of weird comparisons that don't really make sense, like could Darth Vader beat Sauron, Lawrence?
That's actually a really good question. You got sword powers and sword. Sauron has a sword too. The lightsaber will cut through Sauron's sword.
Don't get sidetracked. Let's go on. I've got to go to episode 2.
Pay attention. All right, so let's run down our favorite movie-based video games and see how Battlefront stacks up.
Yeah, first 2004, The Chronicles of Riddick shaped Culture Bay. Widely, I think it's probably the best movie-based game ever.
On Diesel.
It launched alongside the movie The Chronicles of Riddick. Is actually a prequel to Pitch Black and did a way better job building a lore and character of that universe.
Yeah, also you could shank dudes with a true driver, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So it earned it an 89 on Metacritic, which is actually really good, especially at the time. Movie properties were not good in the early 2000s.
And while we got the camera on you, Lawrence, why don't you take the next one?
So next up is 2014's Alien Isolation. After tons of games that kind of imitated the guns-out, explosion-y vibe of James Cameron's Alien, Isolation instead went full Ridley Scott, so it was Alien. As a result, it was slow and so intense. Not only does it nail the terror trying to hide from the alien, but it also recreated the clunky, like, 70s VHS vision of the future.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like the sci-fi vibe that's kind of coming back into vogue. It's pretty neat. Didn't really beat Riddick in ratings, though. It got an 81. Still a lot of fun to play, though.
Yeah. It was the Alien game we deserved and got. So speaking of Ridley Scott, almost nobody played the 1997 point-and-click game Blade Runner.
I didn't.
Lawrence did. That's why it's on the list.
Yeah.
Apparently it had a complicated branching narrative and full motion video backgrounds that looked pretty fucking cool for the time. Not enough people officially reviewed the game for it, so let's give it an 89.
Since we're on the subject of science fiction, let's go whole fucking hog and bring up Tron 2.0, which came in 2003. Lawrence, I did not play Tron 2.0, so you should probably talk about this.
I will. Thank you, Bruce. I will talk about Tron for a long time.
Go ahead, keep going.
So, let me set the stage for you. You play as the super coolest dude in the world named Jet Bradley. The son of Tron protagonist Alan Bradley. Jet. His name is Jet. You play as a character named Jet.
Lawrence, how much would it cost for you to change your name to Jet?
Vigilant.
I don't know, man. I need to look this stuff up. I've done some light Googling, but I feel like, man, how cool would that be to say your name like Jet? Anyway, as you'd expect in Tron 2.0, you get sucked into a computer and have to battle your way out with laser frisbees. Despite sounding dumb as shit, the game actually had a really cool RPG-based skill system. Like you would earn upgrade points and upgrade your subroutines, and that would let you like open doors or be better at combat or be better at like talking to different programs. It was kind of like Deus Ex. Also, you played as a character named Jet in a game with battle frisbees. Fucking great. That string of very cool words earned Tron 2.0 and 84 on Metacritic.
James didn't like the game, right, James?
I just don't. Everything he's saying sounds terrible.
Tumbling into strange fantasy escape. American McGee's Alice, originally released in 2000, surprised me with a dark take on a Lewis Carroll classic. You played the game, right?
I did, actually. Yeah, that old one. The artistic design and graphical prowess of the game were very impressive 15 years ago. Not to mention an extremely depressing revelation near the end of the game. The fact that the game launched around the time Hot Topic was a big thing.
It still is. It's still a big thing.
In a different way. It's more for an internet audience rather than the sad people who really enjoy Marilyn Manson and Nine Inch Nails. Anyway, that got an 85. I'm just
So in order to segue from that game to this game, we don't really have anything. Alice Wonderland, directed by Tim Burton, scored by Danny Elfman. Spider-Man.
Wait, so Alice is a Spider-Man game?
No, that's what Lawrence wanted this to do.
It probably would have been easier to go from Tron to this.
2004 Spider-Man 2 was the first game to really nail open world Spider-Man. Boy, that's the coolest thing you could do is steal a car in GTA.
True. Also, you grab balloons, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, Spider-Man, you're the real hero.
It's stupid.
Getting our balloons.
I watched videos that look really dumb.
I beat this game.
How many Chad Krogers out of 10?
It's got Chad Kroger's. There's 8 Chad Krogers out of 10, and 80 on Metacritic.
You're thinking of the first one.
No, I'm always thinking of Chad Kroger.
No.
Let's move on to Star Wars. There's not a segue for that. Star Wars Jedi
Dashboard Confessionals.
Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 released in 1997 and was fucking awesome in addition to having a really good Star Wars.
Take it away, Lawrence.
Yeah, so this game was a follow-up to the mostly unassuming Dark Forces. I mean, it was still really fun, but it was just a straightforward first-person shooter. You play as Han Solo, knock off Kyle Katarn.
It was cool. I like Dark Forces.
Yeah, you stole the Death Star plans.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool, neat tie-in. In the sequel, however, as every character in Star Wars eventually does, you discover you had Jedi powers.
Whoa!
And you can use a lightsaber in addition to the typical buffet of Jedi abilities. You could even customize your powers as light side or dark side. So you could either have like healing or force lightning and stuff like that, and that would give you a different ending depending on the sort of powers you picked. Yeah. Pretty cool. It was the first game that provided that sort of Star Wars experience, let you live that narrative in that world with all those powers. That's why it got a 91 on Metacritic.
Wow, that's really good.
It also gave way to probably one of my favorite games of all time, Jedi Outcast.
Oh, also a great game.
Everyone loves Jedi Academy, but I don't know, for whatever reason, Outcast was like the game I loved.
It was great.
But with all that said, that is pretty impressive, but only one game, one man could actually top it. An alcoholic, womanizing, murderous hero. Golden Eye. I don't know movies.
Dylan City GoldenEye released in 1997 and remains one of the best movie adaptations ever made.
Granted, it was only loosely following the plot of the movie, but it was the best console-based multiplayer shooter until Halo Combat Evolved released 4 years later. I'm a little ahead of its time.
Yeah, that's 4 years of checking your fucking friends. They're always getting the goddamn golden gun and screen looking. They were always screen looking. Those motherfuckers are always screen looking. Well, no, that's not true. You could not look at the screen to your right. You could keep your eyes focused on the part of the screen that you could.
We were on, we didn't even have CRTs back then. It was just a tube.
You gotta look where you're supposed to look.
I was always given the claw. I like that gun. I was good with the claw. I was okay with it.
The claw
wasn't so bad.
The claw wasn't. You get 2 of them. They're pretty good.
GoldenEye still ranks this thing with a 96 on Metacritic. It was not head up.
Those are all nostalgia points.
They are all nostalgia points, but back then, Metacritic got 96.
I will protect you.
So anyway, we figure a battle for best movie game comes down to basically Battlefront or GoldenEye. Can a game about space guns and laser swords beat a game about a dude that drinks a lot and then shoots people? He also sleeps with women. Anyone?
I mean, yeah, that's cool, but he doesn't do that in the video.
Famicade, Jemison,
What about Top Gun for Nintendo Entertainment System? You couldn't even land.
Look, I still think. I mean, I said this out loud this morning. But I can't find the story. It's probably the best movie-based video game ever.
Having played it this weekend and being in a beta, there are moments like just running under a sandbar. We are graphically at a point where it feels like you're in the movie.
Yep, it does. It feels like you're in the movie.
It's very cool. I'm happy about this.
It's actually even better considering we have Annihilation up here on the TV and it looks like shit.
Raiden?
It's a new look. Mortal Kombat Annihilation? Are you
No, the other Annihilation.
Very same. Can we miss a game? Are you guys convinced Star Wars Battlefront will still be a hot piece of garbage?
Yeah.
Please let us know in the comments, like you always do.
Top Gun. How am I supposed to land this thing?
Maverick.
It's easier to land a real plane.
Maverick starring James Garner? I love that video.
What car did he pull?
Can you name one of the actors in Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
James Remar.
Who's he?
He's Raiden.
Raiden.
What a waste of an evening, Lawrence. Nice job.
I must not
I could have been watching one. I made my girlfriend watch it. I also saw Almost Famous, so
Checking the integrity of the building.
Welcome to the know. I'm Meg Turney.
I'm Miles Newman.
Game developer and you want some free lessons on how to piss off your players, looking further than Overkill, the creators of Payday 2, and how they've handled these.
I guess the heist has been on our wallets all this time. The recently released update 90 for Payday 2 at the end of last week has players feeling a bit robbed to the point that its Steam moderators have now gone on strike and refuse to participate until a member from Overkill gives them a public interview.
Go on strike!
We will not break.
We won't do
This
any
is
more
a phallic
rodeo.
hand gesture. Anyways, let's read the thing.
Yes. How do we get to this point? Last month, Overkill introduced a new mechanic into Payday 2 via its black market update, Pay to Win. That's right, the 3 most dreaded words in any multiplayer shooter. As part of the update, players now have access to safes, which when open could drop weapon skins, a la Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and like CSGO, the only way to get the drills required to open the safe is through the Steam market for $2.50. The only difference from CSGO is that the weapon skins aren't just cosmetic, they actually boost your in-game stats, increasing attributes like stability, accuracy, and damage.
I guess Overkill really wanted a payday. Really, Eddie? That's the quality writing of us? All right.
I love him.
Somebody had to say it.
Yes.
Anyways, this new pay-to-win microtransaction model comes after Overkill promised back in 2013 transactions to the game. Back then, Almir Listo, one of the game's producers, updated the Steam page with, "We've made it clear that Payday 2 will have no microtransactions whatsoever. Shame on you if you thought otherwise." It's funny how things on the internet just can't go away.
Yeah,
after you say them.
exactly. We need that Game of Thrones shame bell. Shame. Once the microtransaction laden black market update hit, the players had absolutely nothing to say about it on Reddit. Nothing at all. Especially in a Reddit AMA with these stats not easy to trust by thousands of angry gamers.
The first.
Kappa.
Overkill tried to appease players by adding a chance for drill drops to in-game reward tables, so paying for them wasn't the only option. They would not be removing stat boosts from the weapon skins. A month later, they've now released Update 90, which is the cause for the most recent uproar. Team boosts and the completely Overkill safe.
This is actually getting more complicated
at the vanguard.
now.
And this is a part where our writers put in a Game of Thrones joke. A Thrones joke. I'm not gonna, it went over my head, so I'm just gonna stand here and try and look pretty what you can do.
You look good. The new team boost mechanic gives a chance for an XP and money boost when players have the team boost feature applied. So this stacks the more that you have in your party with team boost activated. The only catch is that you can only apply it to a paid weapon skin.
They're just getting creative with how to screw over their players. In addition to team boosts, Update 90 also brought the Completely Overkill safe, which was a reward for buying the Completely Overkill pack back in spring as part of Payday 2's Hype Train event.
So before we were joking about Game of Thrones, but now we're being serious. What the hell is going on here?
So, back in spring, Overkill launched an event called Hype Train. With content and activities. So I think of it as Kickstarter bonus tier rewards. You only get them by buying DLC.
Oh, this is like the Deus Ex promotion that people just like set fire to and then it burned.
God, yeah, that was a thing.
It burned down. So they gave people free content for spending a bunch of money on it.
Yes, so one of the things the community could buy to get tons of hype fuel was the Overkill pack. In it. But if you bought the Completely Overkill pack for $20, you were promised a reward down the line, and that reward was just released in the
always
safe in Update 90.
Okay, so what exactly is in the Completely Overkill safe that has players so pissed off? Well, one of 25 weapon skins, of course. The only problem is that the weapon skins' quality and rarity are random, meaning you could have waited 8 months and spent $20 to get a skin that totally blows.
But that's not all. The safe also contains 7 Payday 2 packs in it. But if you already own them, you don't get them as gift
Alright, so this is the Game of Thrones thing. They're basically King Joffrey at this point, right? Yes, very The anger of victory sentiments has gotten so bad that now Payday 2 Steam moderators have gone on strike. One of the group's moderators reportedly received death threats over the whole deal and has said, "I like to believe that I am not unreasonable, but unfortunately the situation constantly degraded. We will no longer refuse to work if we are given a public interview to be heard and see what Overkill are willing to do to fix the situation. If Overkill decides to let us go as moderators, it's something we are prepared for. I personally cannot sit by when they continue to promote immoral business practices."
So, developers, if you're thinking about introducing pay to win into your multiplayer game, maybe don't.
Yes,
It
just
makes
don't.
you wonder why Overkill thought these changes would go over well, or if they even cared at all. It's no secret that microtransactions can be big business for developers. Look no further than League of Legends, which generates 31 bajillion million trillion dollars in transactions a second, and over $1 billion last year alone. For all globally, that number is bajillion, trillion, I don't know, a lot of money per second.
Dollars
It's
per
a
second.
lot.
You had it in there.
Oh,
You were
let's
like,
go back.
"Fuck it." No, I like that you
Oh,
were
okay.
like, I don't know what they do.
I just assumed that it was, I guess that is per second.
$17 per second is a lot of money, but I
That is
saw
true.
where you were going
That
when
is
you saw
true.
the 31.
I
and you
saw
were
the
like,
billion
"Fuck."
earlier. I was like, should we take that again?
No,
or do you just
I
gonna-
like it.
All right, let's just stick with
Keep
it.
going.
That's a fact.
Yes.
That's a rock fact.
And the fact of the matter is that the game development is expensive. That's why our cycles and are a bit out from announcing a new game. We're keeping it going.
Yeah, I threw you off. How does it feel?
It costs money to keep an old game running, not to mention that people are paying to help support it, which is why it's getting more and more common to start supporting multiplayer titles with this kind of content. We saw it in CSGO and most recently in Destiny. Now the difference between those games is that they offer cosmetic updates rather than anything that actually into your existing community as more of a gotcha feel for people who have already invested hundreds of hours into your game. Earlier this year, Sony Online Entertainment's H1Z1 had to issue refunds to angry players who complained that introduced airdrops were making the game pay. There's even been research into the social aspect of pay to win and how it affects the perception of player status. The International Journal of Internet Science, which
Ever vigilant.
published a study this year which uses social comparison theory to predict that players who purchase pay-to-win items are more willing to They tested this in MapleStory. I'd never heard of, but apparently a very addictive
Rally to me.
World of Tanks and Diablo games, and our hypotheses proved out in each of those games.
In 3 studies, we found that people respond negatively to games based on psychological theories and social comparison. And the fact that players who acquire in-game benefits through the use of microtransactions are given and are respected less. We even found that players have ill will towards the microtransaction-using gamers.
You have such a great voice.
Stay at the vanguard.
So, we get developers who can find and
Well, you can, but you'll probably lose. That's a horrible accent. Yeah, I used to be a little girl.
I will break
And then
their
science-
line.
Wow.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, chemicals, man.
But you got a
They'll
great
fuck
voice for
you
it.
up.
Yeah.
Fuck you up. Yeah.
So guys, what do you think of all that's going on in Payday 2?
Microtransactions and keep up to date on Steam mod uprisings. Like this video and subscribe to the network. Thank you. Eat a
no
dick,
way.
Ryan. I'm out.
Welcome to the Know. I'm Meg
First
Turney,
blood
and there's
approaches.
nothing more exciting than watching people on the internet fight over a bunch of numbers. So we thought we'd report on the recent news that the Xbox One outsold PlayStation 4 in the month of October. Oh yeah, you know, fight, kiss, kiss, kiss. The NPD Group just released October's console sales number, telling the story of a possible comeback for Microsoft's system. Now in October, the Xbox One moved about 303,000 consoles, while PlayStation 4
Chosen of
came
the
in at
sun.
275,000 consoles in comparison. Oh, hey down there, Wii U. This is almost twice as many consoles as Microsoft sold in the same month last year. The most
Rally
impressive
to
part of
me.
these figures is that Sony actually dropped the price of its console by $50 in October, which should have spelled another big win for them, considering that September was a very strong month for the PS4. Another interesting tidbit, 96% of all console sales in October came from bundles. That it was Xbox One bundles. I did hear you need a patch to open it though.
The sun always rises.
So what helped Microsoft stage its comeback? Games, which might be surprising considering how much time companies talk about not games these days. Xbox marketing VP Mike Nichols told GameSpot the strength of the greatest games lineup in Xbox history drove record Xbox Live usage for October and made Xbox One the best-selling console in the US. Now, looking at their lineup, it's hard to argue with Halo 5 and Rise of the Tomb Raider leading the charge, but Microsoft also has backward compatibility coming back, which could be convincing people to jump in all over again. Meanwhile, Sony's biggest holiday exclusives are Disgaea 5 and the Nathan Drake collection. Those are more like white elephant gifts than holiday releases, but it's okay, Sony. Sometimes the holidays can help me too. Okay. I don't think so much salt. Salt all over. Microsoft also got a little salty. Continuing with Sony about backwards compatibility yesterday, releasing a video showing just how easy it is to play old games on the Xbox One. This video is an example response to Sony's video from last year, which bought Microsoft DRM policy for the Xbox One. You guys are so cute now. You're like, the MPD group also released the top 10 selling games for October, which has Halo 5 at the top of the list, and the Nathan Drake collection down at number 9, just behind Yoshi's Woolly World. Is this actually the strongest exclusive holiday lineup that Microsoft has ever had? 2014 saw the Xbox One getting the Master Chief Collection of Forza Horizon 2 and Sunset Overdrive just in time for the holidays. 2013 brought Forza Motorsport 5, 2012 was the year of Halo 4 and Fable The Journey, 2011 gave us Gears of War 3, Forza 4, Halo Combat Evolved, Star Wars Kinect, Dance Central 2, and Kinect Sports Season 2. Oh yeah, that was really the year Microsoft wanted us to get terrible 2010 was, you know what, we're not going to keep going backwards. But can Microsoft win the next round? We'll come back to the it really depends on how you look at it. While the sales of PlayStation 4 so far completely outclassed both the Xbox One and Wii U combined, it's not like Microsoft is doing any worse than it did last generation. It took almost the exact same amount of time for the Xbox 360 sales to reach 15 million units globally the last time around, and Microsoft is the one on top. At least we'll continue with assault. Don't at least until the Wii U, of course, came out and everyone suddenly got a disease that required them to flail their arms around and pretend to play tennis. Really, the bigger story here is that Microsoft is doing poorly this generation, although that initial price point and Kinect were not the smartest moves, but more that Sony is just completely steamrolling the competition. It's almost not even fair to call it a competition. It's like Sony's dad that's playing basketball with his kids. But really, he's taking it. It took PlayStation 3 well into the latter part of 2009 to reach 27 million units. That's 3 years to hit the same number that the PS4 has hit in just under 2. It's not just selling faster than the PlayStation 3 either, but also the PlayStation 2, which is basically the biggest selling console ever. The best part though, Sony literally has no idea why. Last year, Shuhei Yoshida, the head of Sony Worldwide Studios, said, I for one am a bit nervous because we do not completely understand what's happening. You need to understand why your product is selling well. Right? And while you're at it, get a 2016 calendar so you can start penciling in. So what do you guys think about Microsoft's big October? Are they making a comeback? Is this one of the best years ever for holiday gaming? What do you think? Let us know in the comments down below. To learn more about Microsoft's rocket-like comeback, stay informed about all things holiday gaming, like this video and subscribe for now. Bam! I would never throw salt into a pan though. I feel like it would pop me in the eye and I would be fine.
It's me, Mario!
Welcome to the Know, I'm Meg Turney.
I'm John Reisinger.
For the first time in months, yesterday's Nintendo Direct brought us some new information on what we
Leave me, Mother 3.
Actually, that did happen! But unfortunately for those of us in the US, we only get the Virtual Console in Japan.
That doesn't help me at all.
Bullshit. They even kept that off the US version of the stream, so they really didn't want you to know about it.
Ha!
An enemy has been
Damn you,
slain.
Reggie. I was ready just to improvise. I was ready to improvise this entire thing. I was like, let's just talk.
You have work.
All right, damn you, Reggie. The big announcement that everyone was expecting yesterday didn't happen, though. Minecraft Wii U was a no-show at Nintendo Direct. There was much speculation that Nintendo would announce the game after Wii U. Scheduled release date yesterday, but unfortunately it was a no-show because it didn't happen.
Do you have somewhere to be after this? Because you're like, and then we went, and then there was another thing, and there it goes.
I talk fast.
Sorry, Nintendo fans, you still can't do what the rest of the world has been doing since 2000. Nintendo did drop a few surprising pop-ups though. The biggest two, Final Fantasy VII's Cloud Strife is coming to Super Smash Bros. And we're getting a
First light approach.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's right, Cloud and his enormous buster sword. Going beyond the slice of the way to the crossover brawler, bringing the total number of players to 62. This is the first time we've seen a Final Fantasy character jumping into it. There's no word yet on when or how this will be. For now, we got plenty of limit breaks that will be some hour and the stars are going strong. Yeah, that's all.
You're like, hey, remember we just...
Haha.
The stream also brought big news for the world of a playable decided to name her Linkle. That's a real name.
What were the names that they turned out? Linkette and Linka and like Waluigi.
Just call her Link.
Yeah, I
It should
agree.
just be Link. Also, what do you think this came about? Like, I think somebody was asleep on their face and they had to turn the name in and they're like, oh, fuck, Linkle? Yeah, we all decided Linkle's good. Linkle's real good. Or like a lion or chicken.
Oh no, Winkle flashback? Oh, Tinkle's like a Link character. Winkle is going to be a playable character in the upcoming version of Hyrule Warriors, wielding crossbow hunting badass. The inclusion of a playable girl Link has been rumored since last year when she appeared in the supplemental Hyrule Warriors. Described as sister-like. What does sister-like mean? She looks like she could be related to a man.
Perhaps. Players have been long asking for a gender swap period of time. I mean, it only makes sense, especially considering there's no real story to be had in Legend of Zelda. I never grew up. But hey, Nintendo is listening, and it makes you wonder, could they be considering a playable female Link for the next open world Legend of Zelda game? That's coming out next week, by the way. They might switch platforms, and Nintendo next system today. Nintendo made a clear saying multiple times this year.
Besides badly characters, Spawn Zero got a brand new release just missing QI and Hitler.
Really? Fuck! Why do you know Hitler's birthday?
No, go back. I'm gonna say Q1.
No, I'm leaving.
Go back.
I'm leaving it.
Oh, damn it.
Q1. Other highlights include the release of classic Pokemon games, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow on the Splatoon content, and Dragon Quest 7 and 8 coming to the Switch.
Don't trade those 3DSs just yet, guys. We've also got Twilight Princess coming, along with some Wolf Link Amiibo. I'll be playing video Mr. Rossetti, Blathers, Kix, and Celeste from Animal Crossing. So stop hanging out in bathroom stalls asking for Amiibo hits. You've got a problem.
Carrie, this entire video is an intervention for you. Carrie, your mom called us. She's worried.
Yeah.
Last but not least, rejoice Mario makers because level browsing is about to get a lot easier. Through a new web portal, players will be able to log in with their Nintendo ID and flag levels for easy access later on. Ooh, easy access. Look at you, Nintendo, using the internet a little bit. Ooh, it's like your grandmother figures out how to do something and you're like so proud of her.
And she just spams you all the time.
Yes.
As you can see, there was plenty of news at Nintendo Direct, which was a welcome change of pace for Nintendo fans. This is the first Nintendo Direct since the summer and should give eager Nintendo fans some glimpses at what's to come in the near future, especially since the holiday schedule is pretty light next to Xenoblade Chronicles and Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. Woo! Yeah. Before yesterday's return, the company seems to have put the Nintendo Direct events on hold, as they were previously hosted by the late Satoru Iwata before his untimely death in July.
Yesterday, the event was hosted by Reggie Fils-Aimé, the president of Nintendo America, who thanked fans for their support after Iwata's passing. Bill Trennan, senior product marketing manager, also performed some co-hosting duties where he ate a lot of donuts?
It's a lot of work.
We have no idea what that was about, but Iwata-san's legacy of being unafraid to be goofy is still alive and well at Nintendo.
Sadly, Nintendo offered no updates about its rumored new platform, codenamed the NX. While some are already hoping for a next-generation Nintendo console, the clues Nintendo has given so far seem to indicate that it could be a new handheld built from the Wii U architecture instead.
Gimme.
I'll take it.
Cool skins on them. But hopefully not the Wii U marketing strategy.
Works so well.
It was very bad.
Mhm.
At this point, it's hard to believe Nintendo will ever dig out of the Bowser-sized hole they've fallen into this generation. As of the end of last month, the Wii U is trailing both the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, of course, in sales by a huge margin, having sold 10 million total units worldwide, while Microsoft and Sony's consoles have sold 15 and 27 million respectively.
That's a lot more than what they sold.
Yes.
Yeah, it probably doesn't help when Yuji Naka, the creator of Sonic, is openly telling gamers not to play the Wii U version of games like Rodea the Sky Soldier, urging them to opt instead for the Wii version bundled with the package. I get they were designed for the Wii originally, but come on, it seems like somebody at Nintendo might have tried to put a stop to that one. What's even going on there?
Yeah, normally people get like kidnapped in the middle of the night when they go against Nintendo like that. Yeah, they're just like, you are out if you talk about Nintendo.
I
That
love
one guy
Nintendo.
got fired for being on a podcast.
Nintendo's fantastic.
They're amazing. We love them so much.
Yep.
Maybe they're all hitting too many of those amiibos. Those things kill people, Carrie.
Winners don't use amiibos.
That's right.
What did you guys think of all the news from Nintendo Direct? Was it overwhelmingly awesome, or were you just properly whelmed?
Yeah.
Who's ready to play as Linkle and Cloud?
What a dumb name. What would you have named her in the comments?
Anything but.
Yes. Let us know what you would have named her. And, you know, to keep it up with stupid names and Nintendo updates here, like this video and subscribe to the Know. Winkle, it's Winkle. Gotta take a Winkle.
There's no word yet on when or for how much Gil we're going to see. Oh, fuck me in the butt! Go back. Maybe I should read the words that are there. This is the first time Nintendo Direct.
Nope.
Fuck me. Fuck me.
That is why you fail.
Welcome to the Know. I'm Meg Turney.
I'm John Reisinger.
John, you're like my new favorite host. I just keep
Twilight
using
Synergy.
you. All right, you've been throwing credits at the screen for months, getting ready for Star Wars Battlefront, and now the time is almost here. The game launches on Tuesday to much celebration, and perhaps even some choruses of Yup Nub.
Luckily, you can ease up on gripping those lightsabers too tightly. That sounded like a penis joke. Because there's a way for some of you Padawans to play the game early, thanks to EA Access on Xbox One.
That's right, you can download and play all of Star Wars Battlefront right now and live out all your fanboy fantasies. Unless, of course, you want to see Luke on Hoth in his Rebel flight suit getup instead of his Return of the Jedi turtleneck. Come on, guys. Let's try to be at least a little more accurate here.
I enjoying wearing a nice, Steve Jobs turtleneck in the frozen plains of Hoth myself. Before you get too excited about jumping into Battlefront early, there are a couple of catches with EA Early Access. For one, it costs $4.99 a month. So if it's not worth any money to you to play early, then maybe it's not for you. Second, you only get to play for 10 hours total play time before it cuts you off, and you have to wait until Tuesday to play like the rest of us filthy commoners.
Don't you get like a 10% discount on all digital downloads with EA Access?
Search your feelings, you know this to be true.
Couldn't you just sign up, save the 10%, and then play it for 10 hours and then cancel your membership and your order?
Most impressive. We'll be expecting EA's lawyers to shut this video down any moment now.
Ooh, will last longer than we did against the Death Star.
Now you're just saying Star Wars quotes that don't make any sense.
It's a moon!
Ugh.
It's not a moon!
Shut up! As you can imagine, now that the game is almost here and players have early access to it, there are more new videos than you can shake a shock stick at, detailing just about every piece of content in Battlefront. Some of these are from players streaming the game for the full 10 hours they have access, and some of it comes from EA itself, and it's just about everything.
Yeah, that's the whole game.
Yeah.
If you want, you can look at every single weapon in the game, 11 total in 5 different categories, 3 blaster pistols, 3 blaster rifles, 3 heavy blasters, 1 shock blaster, and 1 targeting rifle, which should have blaster in the title, because come on, consistency. Not really that many guns though.
Who needs guns when it's Star Wars? You can also get a look at every option for customization of both the Rebels and the Imperials, which includes helmetless Stormtroopers, Shadow Troopers, Rodians, Zabraks, Twi'leks, just to name a few.
And that's not even including all the star cards, perks, and footage from every playable map and every playable hero, most of which were also released by EA over the last few weeks, plus the weekend-long beta where we got sick of Walker Assault after only a few matches.
Yeah, that's true. It begs the question, does this sort of ruin the experience of playing Battlefront? I can't think of the last time we've seen nearly all of the game's content like this before it launched. Sure, we saw lots of leaks from Fallout 4, but that is a huge game with hundreds of hours of playtime packed inside of it. Some reviewers are already upset that players have been able to post videos of their 10 hours freely, while reviewers are under an embargo.
Oh, it's so hard being you getting your game early. Oh, I got my game early, it's so hard.
Future sucks.
Battlefront doesn't even have a single-player story to balance some of these leaks out, and it charges a full $60 for everything we've seen so far. By contrast, Black Ops 3 has 31 weapons with 13 pieces of equipment, plus 2 campaigns and a zombie mode, and we're not even gonna bother to count how many weapons Battlefield 4 has.
What's funny is that this is a totally different marketing strategy than Disney has employed for the movie, which has done everything it can to maintain an air of mystery. They're even skipping out on award shows so they don't have to show the movie to anybody early.
I love it, so true. They're like, fuck awards. Our actors get nothing, you can't see the movie.
Yeah, fuck awards.
Yeah, fuck awards. Meanwhile, EA is, we would love awards here though, don't get us wrong. We
Fuck
want awards.
everyone else's awards.
Everyone else's awards suck. We want awards.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, EA is blasting as much content as they possibly can, but it might be showing off that it's just a lot of stuff to do in their game. I mean, granted, if you love the core mechanics of Battlefront, then it's not really a concern, but there are plenty of players out there that would like a $60 multiplayer game to be completely overflowing with weapons, perks, characters, upgrades, and customization.
Come on, EA, you've got to leave just a little bit to our imagination. You know, keep the kimono just a little bit closed. I don't know what that means.
I'm thinking of all the Star Wars characters now.
Oh.
Yes.
That awakens my force.
Yes.
That's a joke in the script.
I love it, Eddie. You keep writing those jokes, buddy. What do you guys think? Have we seen a little bit too much what Battlefront has to offer? Does it ruin the experience, or do you think there should be more content in a $60 multiplayer game?
For more mental images of Peter Moore in a kimono and to get the latest on Battlefront updates like this video, and subscribe to The Know.
And more of Eddie's awesome jokes. Will you grow out the mustache for the dash?
I'll start now and it'll take that long.
Can you please do it?
Oh man, it's bad.
Do you think, can you get a full mustache?
No, I get like a nice pedophile stash.
Oh,
that I
yes,
get.
please run it with a
Yeah,
pedo
it's
stash.
really bad.
Hey guys, welcome. I'm Adam Kovic.
And I'm Bruce Green.
And have you spent the last 2 years yelling at your Xbox and slowly dying inside while you wait for the fucking achievements to load?
Lawrence has. I know he has, right, Lawrence?
Damn it, it's just a friends list. It's a list of friends. It should take 5 goddamn minutes.
Let's be fair, it takes like 3.
Well, Microsoft has your back today. Finally, after 2 years of letting you twist in the wind, a huge Xbox interface overhaul launches today, which Microsoft is lovingly calling the new Xbox One experience.
I'm rubbing my nipples with anticipation. Anyway, we don't need a big ass name, Microsoft. We just need the damn console to turn on and launch games most of the time.
Regardless, let's go through the update to see all the new updates and share some tricks you may not know about.
Yeah, first off, Microsoft promises the new Xbox interface is faster with everything.
Oh, wow.
Right, Lawrence?
Yeah, they claim up to 50% improved speed on most features, which they share with you with a series of impressive Xbox-themed graphics. They say friends list should load 5 times faster, party should load twice as fast, and you can join a party 4 times faster, and that's not even in-game, that's just from the flat thing.
Oh, thank God.
Now those are mighty fine numbers. Mighty good numbers, Microsoft. Very good.
They achieved these promised performance gains by abandoning a high-level decision to make each function its own app. So previously, every time you'd go from achievements to friends, the Xbox would fire up a separate program just to look at those functions.
That's funny how we move forward and backwards at the same time.
Doesn't make any sense.
This was partially due to a high-level decision to make the interface Kinect compatible.
Oh, Kinect. Good old Kinect.
That was back when you had to navigate around using a big old goofy Mickey Mouse glove. Thankfully, Kinect gestures are totally gone as a navigation option.
Yay!
Yeah, meaning the Xbox can now make better use of its display space.
Speaking of, let's dive into the new experience and see how it looks. Lawrence, how does it look?
So this is the new home screen. It kind of shows what we mean. There's more information and notifications are readily available. Not to mention that they're breaking new ground and now you can scroll vertically.
Whoa! You're blowing my mind.
Yeah. Like we said, because of the Kinect and the fuzz there, it just had to be a series of horizontal giant blocks. Now that they've gotten rid of that, they can actually make it a real functioning, readable display.
Good.
Hooray! Now your recent apps list vertically under your current gamer app, and they scroll down off the page, and your pins are at the very bottom. And they're now called My Stuff instead of pins, just to show you how hip, cool, and approachable Microsoft is.
Edgy!
Lawrence, why don't you read this joke?
Hey kids, you got stuff? I got stuff. Stuff's cool. Hey, let's sit down and rap. Hold on, let me see if I can turn my chair around.
That's the DX Racer
That
difference.
is not going to be good for your legs.
All right.
Luckily, they're smaller now, meaning there can be more of them on the screen at once, which should cut down on all the needless scrolling.
Right.
That's good,
Yeah, if you look at the left side of the home screen, you'll see the new guide. This is essentially a tab version of the guide on the Xbox 360. You know, the thing that worked pretty well years ago.
Yeah.
And it all worked pretty quickly.
Yeah, that was great.
It's back!
Finally. Jeez.
Yeah.
Instead of opening in the middle of the screen, it slides out from the left now and collects info in a series of vertical tabs.
From top to bottom, those are friends, party, messages, notifications, and settings. There's also a shortcut to snap an app at the bottom of there, too.
Snap an app!
Snap an app.
Put the head on backwards, rap with the kids.
He's already doing it. Look, looks good.
Man, you're bringing the ghost of Jay Allard back.
Boy, he looks cool. They claim this new guide is the main avenue that will speed everything up to 50%, as they said before.
Those are good numbers. Unlike the Xbox 360, though, you don't get the new guide by tapping the home button.
Oh, this is my favorite part. I like this.
Yeah, that's the one that used to be called the guide button on the 360. This is all confusing.
So you're already confused, but as you'd expect, the home button still takes you home. To get to the guide now, you double tap the home button. This used to bring up that awkward plus-shaped shortcut menu that let you snap apps or take screenshots.
Is this an April Fool's Day joke?
Hold on, we're not there yet. That's not my favorite part. This update also rolls out backwards compatibility with 360 games, which is actually much cool. This is very cool. I'm glad they
Wait,
did it.
2 years ago!
Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah.
So if you played Rare Replay or were in the beta for backwards compatibility, you've already seen how it works.
Yeah, Lawrence, how does it work?
So it works with both disc-based and digital games, but it's pretty much the same setup as the Xbox One. So if you have a 360 game on disc, you have to put it in your Xbox One. It'll install or download the full game to your hard drive, and then you still need the disc in there to play it. But if you own it digitally, it'll show up in that section that says ready to install with all of your other Xbox One digital games.
Yeah.
It's essentially they've incorporated the 360 library into the Xbox One. It works almost exactly the same way.
Yeah, just to get meta with it, 360 emulated games can be streamed just like Xbox One games. You can emulate a 360 game on your Xbox One and stream that through your home network to a Windows 10 PC.
Lawrence, say this part.
You gotta just up-zap it to the microcloud for instant game zoning!
No! Man, Lawrence is so cool.
Man, I miss 2004.
Not every game works with backwards compatibility just yet, but we have a link to the official list in the description of this video.
Check her out. Also, this is really confusing.
This is my favorite part. Here it is.
But you bring up the 360 guide by pressing view and menu at the same time while inside a 360 game.
Right, that's start and back to put it in 360 parlance.
What the fuck?
The home button will take you to It'll take you to Xbox One home. But if you want to get to the 360 home, you gotta press, what was it, menu and view. Okay.
Also do a handstand and...
I owned an Xbox One and had no idea it was called the view button. I had no idea.
There you go.
I just like how intuitive it all is.
Kill me. Other non-gaming features have been revamped, which we could care less about since we like playing video games here.
There's a new store because Microsoft wants you to buy stuff. That's cool.
That's fine. It's digital, man.
Avatars are back finally. Look at the little guys dancing around there. Who gives a shit? The one guy has been revamped. What's that, Lawrence? I don't know what that is.
That's the media center for Xbox One. That's kind of it shows you listings. You can pin provider apps like FX.
Who cares? At least they made the games faster. That's good.
The dawn has arrived.
Despite all that, Microsoft hasn't fixed every issue with the Xbox One. Where would we be with all that? At least they know about them though, right?
They posted a list of known issues with the new Xbox One experience already. Lawrence, how'd they figure out the list of known issues, but they couldn't fix them?
Well, because they didn't have time, I assume. It's been in beta for a while, so
Okay.
I assume all the beta testers have reported issues. And I guess there's just some edge cases where they're like, we don't know why this happens,
fine.
but if it does, here's how you fix it.
I don't know, it's like going out on a date for the first time and someone just handing you a list of all their problems.
Here are my problems.
Look, right off the bat, you're not gonna like these.
There's a whole list of amusing problems like can't sign in due to repeating password prompts, and an app may fail to launch with error 0x800-705B4 after a title update.
Fun.
If you have exotic and entertaining problems such as these, hopefully Microsoft support page can make you feel all good.
Hey, you just stare at it. It's fine. So finally, there are a few features we want in the Xbox update that we haven't seen or heard about yet. So why not add achievements to the new guide? Nordic assholes like Lawrence, who wrote this script, check that shit all the time.
Yeah, plus there are some dumbasses over in Austin that care about stupid points that mean nothing. What are you talking about, Lawrence?
The live action crew.
It's almost like there's an entire group dedicated to getting achievements.
Yeah, like achievement seeker types.
Yeah.
Oh, they're looking for achievements.
Yeah,
Maybe
they're
they like getting
constantly,
achievements a lot.
seeking out achievement or
That's
trophy
stupid. What a dumb
trophy
thing.
seekers. I
That's
think
really
they're called.
dumb.
Do you,
That's a dumb thing.
think, do you think the sports ball guys are gonna get mad that we're making fun of them in a secret way?
Nah, they won't.
Okay. Also, please add the option that outputs voice chat audio to the display. This is a must-have for people that like to stream and capture gameplay, which Lawrence and I have tried multiple times. We always end up having to get like Skype involved in some weird way. It's very annoying.
Yeah, most people probably don't use this, but it wasn't the Xbox 360, so why not the Xbox One?
Because it's new, and that means getting rid of stuff that worked before.
You
Apparently,
gotta press view and menu twice to get to the
Double
Xbox.
tap.
Double
Yeah.
tap to
Double
get
tap.
to the 360
you have
home.
to strap your PlayStation 4 controller to the Xbox 360. Plug your Xbox 360 in for gamer points.
Lawrence, what do we actually think about this whole experience?
I don't know. As long as they made it move faster than a geriatric in a Prius, I'm okay with it. Hey! Joel, you're not a geriatric yet. You can still move around.
Only in my heart.
You start dancing and tapping, you're pretty spry. That was the #1 problem with the Xbox One, at least as far as I'm concerned. It's just so fucking slow and everything takes forever. And it didn't used to, so it got worse. Maybe now it's at least gone parity with the 360. That's all I wanted. Just don't make it worse, make it better.
It's a strange thing when a company comes out and says, our desktop, our tablet, and our video game interfaces will all be the same, and someone put their hand up and goes, aren't those 3 different things? Like, no. And now all the people who are in charge of those decisions are gone. Makes sense, right?
Now where's the update that makes it run Uncharted 4? No! That was a boom from Cool Lawrence over there.
You going snowboarding later?
Hey, Lawrence, did you fix your hair in the mirror before you put that hat on backwards?
No, I just put my hat on backwards. And this
right,
happened.
we're done.
It's almost like I was born to wear this hat backwards.
Joel has a mouse on top of a laptop.
Hey,
with a
look at it.
mouse
He looks
pad.
good.
All you have to do is scroll it.
No, I know. It just looks funny. I'm saying this is the level of professionality.
It's Prompt Dog. It's not me. It's Prompt Dog.
We also use a program called Prompt Dog.
That wasn't our
Adam always looks like he's literally bursting out of heaven because of that giant bright door.
Winter is coming.
Welcome to the Know. I'm Meg Turney. Is Call of Duty back? Well, if grandiose, self-congratulating press releases are to be believed, that is surely the case. After a couple of down years for the franchise, Activision released a statement today about Call of Duty Black Ops 3's $550 million opening weekend, calling it the biggest entertainment launch of 2015, beating Jurassic World. And they really want to drive home that Jurassic World thing, so suck it, Chris Pratt. In contrast, Jurassic World had the biggest opening weekend in movie history earlier this year, pulling in more than $208 million in the US. So if you're wondering, people like to pretend to shoot things more than they like dinosaurs. But wait, you're shouting at your computer screen? It costs way more to play a video game than to see a movie. Well, you're right. Activision tries to do this number juggling every year because video games still have that chip on their shoulder of wanting to be a bigger deal than any other entertainment medium, and Activision does it more than anyone else, taking random slices of time and units to come up with the most impressive sounding numbers imaginable. Here's some of the other ways Activision has talked about Call of Duty launches. In 2011, Modern Warfare 3 has become the biggest entertainment launch ever, with an estimated sell-through of more than $400 million and more than 6.5 million units in North America and the United Kingdom alone in the first 24 hours of its release.
At the vanguard.
In 2012, Black Ops 2 grosses $1 billion in 15 days. In 2013, more than $1 billion of Call of Duty Ghosts sold into retail stores worldwide as of day one. See right there, they're only talking about what was sold into stores. We see your game there, Activision. In 2014, franchise tops $10 billion in sales worldwide, like to date. Okay, so now you're just adding them all together, guys. Days, weeks, lifetime, retail stores. Call of Duty always has some insane number that will blow your mind, but more importantly, investors' minds. Activision isn't the only company that does this by any means. Just last week, Microsoft touted a $400 million plus number for the launch of Halo that also included Xbox One hardware. It's unknown whether or not the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 PS4 bundle factors into Activision's magical $550 number. $550 million number, I should say. But our money says it definitely does. Or at least it probably does. So what other stats is Activision throwing around in its Black Ops 3 press release? Well, how about more than 75 million hours of games played online and a 100% increase in digital downloads on console from last year? Or the highest ever player engagement recorded in Call of Duty, whatever that means. I guess more players are spending all their time creating anime emblems? But for real though, I definitely need to make a Dragon Ball emblem, because not only did I cosplay as Bulma, but if 7 of us playing a game together, maybe we can wish Krillin back to life. Again. It's actually pretty pathetic how much that dude died. Activision also received a fist bump from its new bae, Sony, saying PlayStation is the best place to play Call of Duty, and this record-breaking launch shows how true the statement is. Black Ops 3 is the biggest launch of the year so far, and the PlayStation Nation is ready. We're proud to call PlayStation the home of Call of Duty, and look forward to supporting our community with DLC map pack content first. Relationship goals. All jokes aside, the numbers that Call of Duty brings in are light years beyond nearly everything else in gaming. It's kind of like when you look at Nielsen ratings for TV and realize that NCIS New Orleans gets like 17 million every week, while Game of Thrones averages 7 million. Why would you not be watching a show about dragons that features boobs on the regular?
Winter is coming.
Say what you will about the yearly releases and about the multiplayer, but Activision knows how to capitalize on its clearly hungry audience. And even though the last few years were slight missteps for them in terms of sales with Advanced Warfare and Ghosts, Black Ops 3's sales seem to indicate that the Call of Duty beast isn't just holding steady, it might actually be gaining steam. It kind of makes you wonder if Activision will ever try to make 2 Call of Duty releases this year. So, how many of you guys have played Black Ops 3? How do you think it compares to the previous Call of Duty games? And who else wants a Dragon Ball emblem in their game? Let us know in the comments down below. Keep up to date on Activision and Sony's relationship status, and to get more news about Call of Duty, like this video and subscribe to the network. Even in they'll have. Are you serious? How do you even make that?
One of them likes this, one of them does not.
Oh, one of them has like a stack. What are they like stacked with each other? Oh, it's one of these, like this. Oh, it's like a. It's like kiss the back of your face. Which one likes it? The top one. Oh.
Hey guys, welcome to No, I'm Adam Kovic.
I'm Bruce Green.
Are you guys having fun out there in the wasteland?
Who isn't? More likely you're unable to move since there are 200 pounds of cans and bricks in your backpack.
Mostly aluminum. I need it for my scope. Anyway, well, we can't help you with all of your obsessive junk hoarding, but we can at least help you with performance issues you may run into on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions of the game. Fallout 4.
When it comes to PC, you're on your own. Yeah, obviously, you've installed way too many Think toolbars for us to save you now. It's totally broken.
That's how I find stuff.
Big answer to your problem.
Joel, bring me a question.
How do I solve my PC Fallout problem?
Type it into Bing.
When it comes to consoles, though, it seems that a lot of stuttering and frame drop issues can be solved by getting crafty with your storage solutions. At least that's according to research done by Eurogamers, Digital Foundry. Lawrence, tell us more.
Yeah, so this is kind of resulting of a research project Digital Foundry put out earlier this week. Every big release, they tend to compare the performance of every console. They found that while the Xbox and PlayStation versions of the game are very similar in terms of image quality, they're actually both 1080p, they actually both have similar texture resolutions and graphical effects. The Xbox version in particular suffers from this weird, like, hanging problem where they're moving into a big issue. It will just hang up for about a second long and then just keep going. So, yeah, that's a huge frame rate drop, and they were trying to figure out ways to solve that problem.
While the PlayStation version didn't suffer these larger frame drops, it still experiences frame rate dips when moving through particular areas.
Luckily, both of these issues have been solved, or at least lessened. When it comes to the Xbox One, the silver bullet involves mounting a solid-state drive in an external hard drive enclosure, then copying and running the game from the internal drive. Simple as that,
Wow,
everybody.
that's so easy. That's not really a great solution, obviously. First off, solid-state drives are really expensive, especially if you're just looking to remove a second's worth of stutter from your game.
We did it! The Xbox One console itself requires external hard drives to have at least 256 gigabytes of storage, which prevents you from going with a bargain bin flash drive. Sad face.
Yeah, add an enclosure to it, and you're already looking at $100 or more just to solve this second-long stutter.
It's the most expensive 1 second. Yeah. So Digital Foundry acknowledges this and found out that there are a few other solutions that are more cost-effective, but not quite as complete in solving the loading stutters. What are those, Lawrence?
Well, it's 7,200 RPM drives, which are faster than the 5400 that's in the Xbox One stock.
Yeah.
And then hybrid solid-state drives help as well. Basically, it's a normal hard drive with a small flash component that acts as a quick reference table for data that's quickly accessed. Both of these things will help. Both can get rid of that second-long stutter, but the little frame rate drops when you're moving into big areas or even pulling out a gun you haven't used in a while, those are still present. They're lessened, but they're still there. Yeah, to really get rid of it all, you just got to throw money at it.
I guess the thing I'm thinking about is that there are obviously more added benefits. So if you get this hard drive, you can put your other games on it, and ideally they should run faster, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. If you're running on a 7200 external hard drive, all games tend to load a little bit faster. That's just something that has been figured out for a while now.
Swapping out PlayStation 4 storage also improves the game's performance on that platform, but not as drastically as the Xbox One.
Yeah, that's mostly owing to the fact that PlayStation 4 doesn't dip in frame rate as hard as the Xbox. In the first place, take that, X-boners! Boom!
Yeah,
got him, X-boners!
Still a piece of plastic.
Can I call them X-boners still?
Sure. Yeah. The biggest advantage all around is in loading times, which can be a bear when you're first loading into the game. Digital Foundry finds that changing from the stock Xbox / PlayStation drive to a solid state can cut loading times in half, no doubt.
Yeah, for example, loading into Diamond City drops from 44.3 seconds to 28.0 seconds on PlayStation 4 and 47.4 seconds to 22.9 seconds on Xbox One. That's almost half. Wow.
Truly, the console experience is here today. So there are steps you can take to improve your experience on both consoles. It just depends on how much money and time you're willing to throw at it. That is a strangely accurate statement.
Is anyone amused how PC-like consoles are becoming? Lawrence, are you amused? You sound amused.
Kind of. I kind of speculated a while ago that since consoles are becoming more complicated, getting more connected, they do more stuff. There's more points of failure and more things that can break. There's more steps in the process, so more points in the bottleneck. I guess people are just slowly becoming acclimated to the PC experience of gaming, which is, if you want the baseline thing, spend a little bit amount of money, that's the experience you're going to get. But now even consoles are getting to the point where they're upgradable and modular. So yeah, if you cram a funnel in the back of your Xbox and just start pouring in all your Coinstar change, it'll just run better.
Are you and that big toolbar on the Xbox One?
I must not fall.
Anybody?
Bing, let me play Fallout.
You guys done that
Good enough for me, Spider-Man. It's good enough for me.
yet? I feel like I've had the black plague because every time I wipe myself, it's black. It's not brown, it's black.
That's not
It's really unhealthy, and it's actually scaring me.
Oh, man, you know what you're running on? Light sweet crude oil.
We're gonna wait for that door to close.
Come on. Oh, Lord. Come here, Bill.
Come on.
There we go. Is he doing it on purpose?
Enemy has been slain.
He's a fan of the show.
Ever vigilant.
Look at this. We're going the outtakes. He's full. Can you see that he's pulling it slow?
Welcome to the Know. I'm Meg Turning.
I'm John Reisinger.
Now that we've begun Fallout 4, a moment to clear out of every news piece ever, we wanted to turn our attention to a game that's actually getting quite a bit of love this week.
Rise of the Tomb Raider had the misfortune of coming out on the same day as Fallout 4, but that hasn't stopped reviewers from giving Lara Croft a few well-deserved shoutouts.
Hey girl, that Tress FX hair looks real pretty. Rise of the Tomb Raider is the reboot of Tomb Raider, damn it, by Crystal Dynamics. That's what it's called, Tomb Raider, damn it!
Yeah!
And Square Enix, out exclusively for the Xbox One until 2016. PC players will have to wait until the first quarter of next year, and PlayStation 4 owners will
Maybe the waiting might be a little as aggravating for you to be game is sad. Multiple years from now, Rise of the Tomb Raider has slunked its way to an 87 already.
Remember when this game wasn't happening because Square Enix was disappointed it only sold 3 million copies its first month? The numbers were so disappointing to Square that former CEO Yada resigned, even though the game set a franchise record.
Oh, I must now retire and change my island made of gold. It looks like there's going to be plenty of money for Square Enix this time around, thanks to rave reviews. Telegraph gave the game a 100, Game Informer a 95, and IGN a 9.3. Forbes, Games Radar, and GameSpot all met at Club 90 for the party, while the good folks at EGM, Giant Bomb, and The Escapists preferred to dish out 80s.
They're always the low end, y'all. 2013's Tomb Raider told the gripping tale of a young woman thrust into survival mode against her will on the dangerous, mystical island. In this new entry, Lara's hunting down a magical artifact said to grant eternal life in order to clear her father's name. You know, typical Uncharted Tomb Raider material. So, how does Rise of the Tomb Raider story fare in comparison? Well, that's one area where the reviewers are split down the middle.
Some reviewers felt like the story improved upon Tomb Raider. GameSpot says in its review, there's a tragic, harrowing, uplifting story at play here, and Rise of the Tomb Raider tells it in detail. There's enough exposition to provide meaningful context, but not enough to get in the way of, well, having fun. But on the flip side, Polygon offered a counterpoint stating that if there's one spot where Rise of the Tomb Raider is noticeably worse than its predecessor, it's the overarching narrative. What minor growth she sees by the end of the story comes across as forced and frankly not terribly good.
However, this difference in opinions didn't seem to hamper anyone's enjoyment of the overall game because, let's face it, more of the same in this case is awesome. The game's story still moves at a breakneck pace and it's perfectly complemented by the gameplay. Giant Bomb in particular praised the flow of the game, saying, the story routinely sends you through 30 minutes to an hour of tightly designed climbing and shooting sequences in linear constrained areas, the stuff you expect from this kind of big budget thrill ride, and then right around the point when you feel it's time for a break, it pops you back out into one of a handful of expansive hub areas that are chock full of shorter, less urgent activities.
The addition of hub areas is one of the main things that separates Rise from the prequel. Rise of the Tomb Raider aims to be even bigger than its predecessor, offering tons of new areas to explore. It's not quite open world, but it gives you just enough freedom to have lots of fun stuff to do. Forbes praised the hub areas, noting that Rise of the Tomb Raider is in some ways an open world game. Lara is an explorer after all. It has all the trappings of it, an upgrade system, craftables, challenges, and side missions. But it's not actually, and it's so much better for it.
When it comes to the game design, all you need to know is if you play Tomb Raider, there's one thing.
That was horrible.
Thank you.
That was horrible.
I liked it though. There's one thing you're probably dying to know if you've played Tomb Raider. How are the tomb puzzles?
Protect you.
While people loved the puzzles in 2013's Tomb Raider, it was often just as puzzling that the game didn't include more of them, and why so many of them were hidden as opposed to flowing with the main game. Well, there's some good news and bad news.
Good news, more puzzles and they're even better. Bad news, they're still hidden. Why would you hide the best part of your game, Crystal Dynamics?
Like the lots of things might make good parts of the world.
No. Many reviewers wanted puzzles to be more front and center too. Telegraph writes, there's a complaint that there's option on puzzle track. The puzzles that do crop up in Lara's quest are great, but one suspects the developers couldn't quite figure out a way of incorporating more of these things in the story without halting its rhythm.
So we've talked story, structure, and tuning. Survival shooting and platforming, looking for some really intense encounters. These and these.
Stay at the vanguard.
We're happy to report that Rise brings more.
Forbes was bold enough to bring up Nathan Drake, Lara's counterpart. It's impossible to think about Rise of the Tomb Raider without thinking about Uncharted, but from a gameplay perspective, Rise is not Uncharted Plus. This is the new standard in third-person shooter adventure games.
Ow, fanboy reaction incoming in 3, 2, 1. IGN agreed that this is the best part of Rise, saying the most heart-hammering moments in Rise of the Tomb Raider come from the frantic, acrobatic chases as I felt with the right button hundreds of feet above ground. So it sounds like you're gonna die a lot. For those worried Rise of the Tomb Raider wouldn't have more amazing Lara Croft death montages.
Ever vigilant.
In the first game, Lara moved from being terrified in the shadows to becoming a ruthless survivor, and Rise of the Tomb Raider ups the ante even further. Lara now has special ammo on the fly, and has even more deadly tools in her arsenal like poison arrows, all of which allow her to throw down hundreds of bad guys.
I guess all that therapy she got in the
playing it.
Big head mode, really? Seriously, you gotta buy this game.
Playing football?
Yes. So, how long has that been since we've had a good big head mode? Big head jokes are just a dime a dozen.
I need a mode that is just Lara Croft in therapy. You could pay in-game money to talk to a therapist.
The trailer is very intense. I think you're actually talking about real therapy, though.
Yes, everyone knows I
We
have
just
issues.
stomped all over Eddie's jokes
Yep.
here. We did.
Jokes, jokes, jokes! I've got some issues to work out too, so who wants to help Laura work out her issues in Siberia? Did you play the first game? Have you started playing Rise of Tomb Raider? Have you played Big Head mode? Really? That's the only question I care about.
Big Head means dick. To stay on top of Tomb Raider news and Big Head mode updates, and stuff keeps coming. Like this video and subscribe to the know. Just like a dick. Nailed it.
Blah se queda a medias. Bold llega hasta el final. Nuevo Hydro Boost de Vidal Sassoon con aceite de
Welcome to the know. I'm Nick Church.
I'm John Reisinger.
It's the day after a Bethesda release, so you can guess what we're talking about today.
Celebrating the virtues of trying to make just before the game's launch,
Ever
by and
vigilant.
large, reviewers seem to acknowledge the issues while still enjoying the game. Right now, as that is in the wild, players are finding it.
Fallen Wars, the latest Bethesda title that allows you to roleplay as the QA tester, exploring their software to find game-breaking bugs and glitches. Best features like frame rate issues and horrifying
If that last one seems familiar, you might be remembering that the same bug was found in the also unstable Assassin's Creed Unity and your nightmares.
Oh yeah. It's never really good when your game stability can be likened to Assassin's Creed Unity, by the way. So just how bad are the reports of bugs, glitches, and frame rate drops? Well, several prominent figures in the gaming community have been speaking up about their concerns of players.
Giant Bomb's Jeff Gersman called Fallout 4 a technical mess on console in his Mixbook, where he audio streams his drive to work and talks about the games he's playing. Gersman, who is still mulling over how he's going to review the game, said he was surprised at just how broken the PS4 version is, citing several encounters that dropped his game to single-digit FPS. He cited multiple gripes with the game from a technical standpoint, adding that he was always wondering if the next thing you do is going to make the game spiral out of control and fully break his That's not good.
George Weidman, host of Super Bunny Hop, echoed Gersman's complaints on Twitter yesterday, saying, "This is the jankiest launch game build I think I have played since in V." That's shorthand for New Vegas, by the way, because you're not one of the cool ghouls. If you'll remember, that game was also notorious for being full of bugs and glitches at launch.
Fortunately, players haven't seemed to find anything truly game-breaking as of yet, except for one Verge writer who got permanently stuck in an elevator after 9 hours of playtime. Maybe Bethesda is taking elevator design cues from Mass Effect.
The biggest issue people are reporting has to do with frame rate, and this isn't just players that are upset about a drop from 60 to 30 in certain versions of the game. Digital Foundry released their comprehensive look at Fallout 4's technical performance yesterday, and they found quite a few instances of frame dropping, saying that it's far from a perfect situation on consoles as far as frame rate consistency goes, and neither can truly latch onto a rock-solid 30 frames per second reading.
Oh no, we've got another frame rate gate on our hands. Digital Foundry's report shows that both consoles regularly drop down to 20 frames per second when switching areas and exploring busy parts of the Commonwealth, such as Diamond City. There's also a noticeable stutter on the Xbox One, where the frame rate bottoms out at 0 frames per second for up to a second at times during play.
That is, you can't go any lower.
If it goes to 0 frames per second, is that still frames per second?
It's just a picture they're showing you at that point. So it's kind of like playing the gift version of Fallout 4. The frame rate can also be affected by using weapons that you haven't used in a while. Overall, it's easy to amount to the Xbox One having difficulty streaming the game's assets, the hard drive, even with a 28GB install.
Get that issue too. It's okay, Xbox One. You're not alone. Just eat some more food.
Don't drink so much beer. All these reports should be an all-too-painful reminder this is straight up broken on PC. I will protect you. Weirdly, Fallout 4 is kind of the opposite. It has problems running on consoles, but so far the PC version seems pretty much okay. I mean, if by fine you mean no more buggy than consoles with a better frame rate.
Ever
Bad
vigilant.
comparison.
Yes.
The thing is, we all sort of expected this, right? We know that Bethesda games are going to be like this. It's almost like it's part of the pre-order perks at this point. But at what point does it go too far, and are we giving them too much of a free pass? How does a game with technical problems get scored so high?
Yeah, it got perfect score.
It did.
It seems like most of the reviewers have a different experience with the game than the players do, or maybe they're just not concerned. I must not fall.
The players are so concerned about Bethesda games being buggy at launch. It doesn't slow down sales at all. In fact, each of Bethesda's most are considered better than last. Skyrim sold twice as many copies as Fallout.
Maybe we're all willfully or it could just be because the issue amplified because the internet gives every voice.
People often try to liken games to electronic products like blenders or functional software like word processors, making the argument that if one of those was broken or defective, the seller would simply replace the product or give money back. But games today are a little bit different from that because they're also experiences.
Which is probably why players are more forgiving of hiccups they run into while exploring the Commonwealth. I mean, for a lot of people, it seems like the illusion holds up regardless of the bugs and glitches. They're willing to go along with it because the world is so big and immersive. And really, no amount of playtesting can catch all the problems that hundreds of thousands of players can catch. There's just not enough time for a small team of testers to put that many hours into it.
Stay at the vanguard. Maybe it's impossible to expect a game this big to be perfect, or maybe we've all just gotten so used to it being the case.
Just like the issues you'll face in Fallout 4's Commonwealth, the matter simply isn't black and white. Well, I want to play some more Fallout 4, so let's wrap this crap up.
What do you guys think? Have you run into anything buggy playing the game? Do you think people are forgiving of Bethesda games all the steps more?
To stay current on the latest broken, or not, games, like this video and subscribe to the know. I kept it like a mystery.
I will protect you.
Interesting. Interesting.
Stay at the vanguard.
That's gonna be the end of this video. Alright, are you ready?
En tu compañía no te rinde el internet o te cobran sobrecargos por ver video. Están bien.
Welcome to the know. I'm Nick Turney. I'm Ashley Jenkins. Another BlizzCon is in the toast. There are only a handful of game developers that come through a game that mentioned totally dedicated to themselves, but Blizzard managed to do that. And that's why so vain. You didn't know the about that.
Please tell me someone got that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the weekend was packed with announcements surrounding all things Blizzard, including news about World of Warcraft Legion, Overwatch, Storm, the Warcraft community, and
Activision Blizzard Studios was devoted to the many properties and Activision-wide money-making umbrella. The first announced project was a Call movie, followed by an animated series based on Skylanders. Still waiting on that Tony Hawk
it's gonna come after the Candy Crush movie. You know it is. It was only a matter of time before more video game publishers started going full Marvel, trying to use the properties in their portfolios to build integrated universes and other big marketing words, etc., etc. All snark aside, why didn't Sony do this a long time ago? They have movie theaters. They have movie studios. They should have had some brand new movies by now.
Before we dive into the Warcraft trailer, the game that's got everyone talking this weekend is Overwatch. Cavalry, Blizzard's new team-based shooter launched its beta recently and shared over the weekend that more than 82,000 games have been played by the 7 million plus that signed up for the beta. So far, players seem to be loving their first time in game. It actually makes a pretty strong first impression.
Yeah, he's a sweet spot somewhere between Team Fortress 2 and a MOBA. And speaking of MOBAs, there are many who speculated Overwatch would go free to play like Dota or League of Legends, but they'll have to get through that. Not be going down that same path with a free-tiered version you can buy at launch instead.
It's shocking that Activision wanted to charge money for their game.
So far outside their usual model.
They also announced that Overwatch would be coming to consoles next spring. Jeff Kaplan, the game director, told fans, "When we started to make Overwatch, it was our goal from day one to have this game playable on console. Now, considering how many people are expecting Overwatch to be a serious contender against games like all for esports already, adding content support makes it
Fortunately for console players, we will not have support, so you can hold on to the illusion just a little bit longer. You do just fine against a PC player.
Inflammatory comment, what?
Check. We should move on before it gets too dangerous down there. Right out some heavy
She's been so long making it, and I'm so we'll put it all in there. I just had to in my pants. Nailed it. Jamie Lee. Nailed it. Absolutely. Jamie Lee Curtis also made cosplay headlines like BlizzCon in disguise as a Forsaken character. That was being a Street Fighter this past year. Taking your son there as a graduation present. They're really awesome fighters, aren't they?
You can invite her over. She's aggressive cheese master gut. Besides Jamie Lee Curtis, attendees were also treated to an awesome cinematic trailer for World of Warcraft Legion, the game's 6th expansion, which is set to hit next summer. The expansion is adding a new Demon Hunter class and a new continent, and they're also boosting the level cap to 110. God, it's getting so high now. I can't believe it's been 6 expansions. I'm going to have to start measuring time by WoW.
First blood approaches.
And we all rest. Well, the Warcraft movie was announced before the Burning Crusade, so it's at least 6 expansions old. But fans were finally treated to the movie's official trailer at the commencement of BlizzCon, putting an end to years of waiting, almost as bad as Q&A battle. Longtime fans of the series and lore of Warcraft will be quick to point out that the movie is focusing on some of the earliest Warcraft lore around the First War, when the Orcs first journeyed to Azeroth by way of a dark portal, instead of conquering Stormwind. You know, if you don't really play the game or some context, you look but it's actually really cool. Well, we've known for some time that the Lion of Azeroth, and Ben Foster as Medivh, the sorcerer who sets much of the events of the First War into motion. We really had no idea if this would be a retcon of series 4 or if we just blow past a lot of these events. Now, judging by what we saw, it seems like fans are going to be treated to a start-to-finish depiction of the First War, with emphasis placed on both the Alliance and the Horde. Some of the highlights of the trailer involved a meeting between Durotan and and lots of work on Orcs who you might recognize as the guy who freed the imprisoned Orcs and became one of their most legendary forces after and moving them to you know, no big deal. Again, that sounds super nerdy. Just like all the I'm sort of surprised we didn't just see more of the characters grinding rep and gathering materials. Now it seems like a lot more of the movie taking place in Baron's chat. Still, no word on how much actually involved in studying. To be honest, after so many years of setbacks, I'm really surprised started back in 2006 with an original release date of 2009, which later got pushed back to 2011. After that, its next launch date was December 18th, later marked again. Oh yeah, going through that. Would have hammered a lightsaber with a Star Wars. So they ultimately decided that June 2016 was a better release date. And do you guys remember when Sam Raimi was attached to direct this? Yes, Spider-Man, Evil Dead, and Oz the Great and Powerful Sam Raimi.
Rally to
Back
me.
in 2013, Raimi said he left the project because of humanity. But there were some other rumors that Raimi's version of the movie focused on the Alliance as the heroes of the story, with the Horde appearing as evil
Stay
instead
at
of
the
just
vanguard.
conflicted. And Blizzard was not too happy about that. Or maybe he pushed too hard for an emo Durotan dance number, because what the hell was that in Spider-Man 3? It was pure entertainment. And also, fuck you, trying to make the Horde. How dare you? Our blades will never win. They just have different priorities, okay? Okay, we're just better, actually, than the Alliance. I'm just gonna say it. At one point, the poster boy for a bad video game to film adaptation, Uwe Boll himself made a bid for the director's chair, only to be turned down by Blizzard pretty bluntly. As in, they actually laughed him out of the room. Yay! Boll claimed that Paul Sams of Blizzard told him, "We will not sell the movie rights, not to you, especially not to you." That is demonic bargains. Let's see what he says. Instead, they chose something and of course, this probably worked out better for everybody in LA. Now that the Warcraft trailer is here, what are your thoughts? What do you guys think of Overwatch? What was your favorite part of BlizzCon? And God, how good did Just say that? To stay on top of your Blizzard news and request from the Heroes Call Board, like the video, and great job. Ah, it's so epic. Like, you said to look up, like, and subscribe. Ah.
Feel the sun's glory.
Go on vacation. Well, I'll be back in a month. See you guys. Bye, bitches. See ya. I'll still be good.
An ally has been slain.
Welcome to I'm Matthew Jenkins. I'm Nick Tony. It has been a wasteland out there for Fallout 4 news the past few weeks. It's like nothing's going on. But with Fallout 4 finally launching tomorrow, Bethesda's the game could not come any sooner for all the Baltimoreans out there just itching to get their big boys into the fight. Can't wait to see it. It's been 5 long years since New Vegas. Still have a leaked paint and accurate picture of the follow-up to what many consider to be one of the last gen? Are there really frame rate issues in PS4? How are the graphics? Does the game cure cancer and end world hunger like we thought it did? We are asking the big questions. Let's buy the radiated dog meat for everyone. Reviews are now live with us in the open world side by side. And now the answer to the question everyone's trying to know. So far, the Metacritic score for Fallout 4 is sitting at an average of 90. That's
Very
pretty
nice.
great.
Once you factor in the PC score of 89, the PS4 score of 90, and the Xbox One score of 91, that's not bad. In contrast, Fallout 3 pulled in an average score of 91. Uh-oh. Metacritic. It's all over! While Skyrim currently sits with an average score of 94 across the platform.
Well, this one's a failure. It's time to give it up and go.
Even though New Vegas wasn't built by Bethesda, it does help give it a little bit of context to know that it's sporting an average of 84 on Metacritic. Absolute failure.
What did the biggest review outlets think of jumping into the streets of Boston to be inundated with quests and futuristic weaponry? Well, Games Radar gave it a perfect 5 stars, and IGN came just shy of agreeing with them at 9.5 out of 10. Meanwhile, the Escapist, EGM, Game Informer, and GameSpot all called each other up to see if they should wear matching 90s.
Ooh.
And on the lower end, PC Gamer scored it at 88, while Forbes gave it an 85, and the Circle bottomed it all out with a 75.
First light approaches.
Gotta go against the trend.
Guess it might be good a little bit. Before we dive into the meat of the reviews, let's talk about those pesky frame rate issues and everyone's big worry with Bethesda games. Does it actually work?
Doesn't matter, we still love them.
Yes. Over the weekend, several gamers who received their copies of Fallout 4 early reported frame rate issues in the game's interior section. Apparently, in some places, this can drop the frame rate below. No. Count Fallout 4's frame rate on 2 hands, unless you're a mutant with 6 fingers. And then you don't
If you're a mutant with 6 fingers, please do us a picture if you like that. This frame rate issue is sadly all too familiar with Sony's console users. If you remember the launch of Skyrim, the PlayStation 3 version would often break once the save file got anywhere over 5 megabytes. Fallout 3 also launched the host of Skyrim. So it's not new, just new.
I hear Bethesda Spanish stands for get it? Because it's not. I use French there.
Did reviewers experience the same issue though? Games Radar review again. These games score acknowledges the frame rates can be a bit choppy, but not game rates. Polygon goes a little further, saying Fallout 4 has technical issues as such as from strange AI
He gives it a perfect score and then he says like, yes, choppy.
Hero Gamer echoes Polygon's complaints as well as I do. Fallout 4 has given me some of my best our legacy problems that aren't Fallout 4 is a great game. It's also kind of a mess. It's a hot mess, though.
Oh, yeah. The one you hook up with at the end of the night. So everyone's saying, you know, it's a Bethesda game. I think we've said that before.
So we know at least what we're getting into.
Right.
You've played Bethesda games. This is not a surprise.
Absolutely. And what a huge game it is, by the way, according to reviewers. While players were concerned about the game's map size last week, really it's not about the size of the map, it's how you use it. Which supposedly could, at the time we were talking about last week, run only just 11 minutes from end to end. Did sound like Bethesda's packed more than enough things to do in the Commonwealth. Games Radar praised how much there is to do in Fallout 4, saying there's a whole world here to discover, and even after all the time I've spent in it, I barely feel like I've scratched the surface. For all the missions, quests, and other stuff Fallout 4 contains, by far the most important thing in it are the decisions I've made. 2 games nail a feeling of total freedom, and this is an experience made of nothing but
The sun always rises.
IGN also celebrated the amount of content, adding that after more than 55 hours played, I may have seen an ending, yet I feel like I've only begun to explore its extraordinary world. From the look of it, I'll easily be able to spend another 100 happy hours here and still see new and exciting things.
Sounds like an entry in like a Christopher Columbus journal. I've just made it to the new world and I've spent 55 hours.
Stay free. I'm always ready getting tired of coconuts.
That's right, I could spend 100 more happy hours here. So basically, again, it's Fallout 4 deviates a bit from the previous Bethesda titles in that it tells a bit more of an engrossing story compared to Fallout 3 and Skyrim, which are sort of cool but not.
The story you play them because you can do whatever you want outside the story. The story's always the last thing you do. When you have no more quests in everywhere else.
Then you fine, I'll do the story quest. In Fallout 4, you're the survivor of Vault 111 on the search for your family in a post-apocalyptic world filled with fighting factions and horrifying abominations, all while making difficult choices. GameSpot said of the game's story, your decisions have real impact on your journey, but perhaps more importantly, on the fate of others.
Fallout 4 story regularly challenges you to make
Your turret has
Because
been
if there's one
destroyed.
thing I really like, it's when my mistakes are fucked up forever.
The sun
According to
always
reviewers,
rises.
this harrowing tale is bolstered by the game's mechanics, some of which have seen some big changes since our last trip into the Wasteland. Whereas the ability to pause combat in Fallout 3 was down through the encounters, in Fallout 4 round out made to make fights quick, rewarding, and strategic all at once. EGM is a big fan of the game's combat, writing that all in terms of player progression, players will find that stats streamlined as well, but still a stunning amount of death. I think the entire concept is still pointed elaborately animated vault boy chart with so many unlockable options you have to scroll through them to see them all. Even though this is also feel similar to other action RPGs like Diablo or Destiny with the most unique gear and modding. Yes, that includes clothes and armor, making loot whores out of all of us. We already were. Thanks, Bethesda. And all of that isn't even mentioning some of the new biggest time sinks, new systems for weapon customization, and so you need something to fill your time, right? Build it all up. Reviewers had a ton to say, good and bad, about the new systems, but for the most part, they seem to be a fun addition to the game and another distraction in the search for your family. Jason Moore loved it, saying, I wanted to show some of the things I could, showing the world the resources that's and that's one of the beautiful aspects of Fallout 4. Polygon writes that you're not seriously, how do people figure out to do anything? Nintendo Power Max. We call those hotlines. I mean, I'm regularly asking. I had to know how much for that too. Nintendo Power Max for that too. Maybe Bethesda should ask it how it made games less funny.
The sun
So, at the end of the day, it sounds like, yes, some people's concerns are warranted when it comes to issues that might affect how Fallout 4 plays, but nevertheless, reviewers seem to be in love with the game overall. We actually looked for Gus to see if we could get his opinion on it, but surprisingly, he's nowhere to be found.
He's sick.
We think he's irradiated. Sick. Yeah. There's a ton of stuff to do, new places to explore, better ways to kill bigger monsters, all with a well-told story that puts a lot of weight into how your decisions will affect the Commonwealth.
And more importantly, it all feels like the familiar Fallout we so fondly remember before it crashes.
Yeah, that's what I remember. So what do you guys think of all these Fallout 4 reviews? Do you buy Bethesda games regardless of any issues that might be present at launch? Because we all know that they're going to be there anyway. Is your Wanderer going to be male or female? Or are you going to just ignore your family, build generators for your settlements? So many options. Let us know in the comments.
To do. To stay up to date on the latest news from the Commonwealth, like this video and subscribe to the Know.
Ever vigilant.
Let's go play Fallout.
Yeah! I want to play with the puppy. Oh, we don't need the script. This is just like the unscripted bit.
No, we'll just like, because we
this should be the end bit, just us explaining how the end bit works. Then you put it in Premiere and you cut it, and I still don't know how to work the transition where it like becomes small, so I just put it in a story recently.
First light approaches.
You know, when a game like this, Nintendo Friday and the Call of Duty Friday, all I want to do is not work anymore and go, yeah, I am to play one Call of Duty. Oh, Fallout! Gone. I think Tyler, I don't think they had an ugly one. Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Madam and if you guys really want Battlefront to be bad, we got some bad news here.
Boy, that gameplay that came out is really badass. EA updated the official Star Wars Battlefront website yesterday with the Planet experience, which contains a shitload of new footage.
We be talking about Solo, we be talking about Fett, we be talking about Palpatine.
The trick is all these clips are hidden. Basically, each planet experience is right in that particular environment, showing lasers flying all around and shit.
Yeah, the fly through pods at certain points highlighting different aspects of the battle. This includes different guns, players, races, vehicles, things like that. Let's talk about some of those highlighted things, Lawrence.
Sure. So some of those highlighted aspects have different tabs that have gameplay videos kind of showing them in the game, and holy shit, those clips are pretty fucking good. Let's run down some of that new footage, starting with the Millennium fucking Falcon.
Oh man, it looks so cool.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, it's really short, but God, those camera angles when it's like flying around and blowing stuff up. Oh, I want it.
Hey, be unbiased, you journalists.
Yeah, say the game is bad.
Keep it in your pants.
Speaking of hero vehicles, we also get a glimpse of the Slave One in action.
Racist.
What? No, it's Boba Fett ship. This looks like footage from the Fighter Squadron mode, since the objective at the top reads defeat the enemy fighters.
Seems like it may be slightly similar to the Walker Assault mode we played in the beta, with an Imperial transport moving through the battle. So it's a point. One side has to defend it, while the other side has to blow it up.
I'm told. We also get a close-up look at the recently announced pack of heroes. Lawrence, who are they?
So we got Emperor Palpatine,
Yes!
Boba Fett, those are the new villains. The new heroes are Princess Leia and Han Solo.
Okay.
Oh man, Palpatine looks pretty cool. He gets cool little things. Like chain link, man. They can ping drop.
Leia might be force sensitive.
She's not my princess.
No, hold on. I don't think they've revealed that she's force sensitive yet. They might put DLC in. Star Wars Force Awakens comes out, because then we find out Leia's force sensitive.
So like when you're on your
Anyways, Fett's flamethrower looks like a lot of fun. It melts right through that personal shield, which is really cool.
That's very nice. Other awesome bits include first speeder chase, and a look at the heroes versus villains mode, which just looks nuts. It looks like they're just giving us a bunch of stuff that we want.
The only not so big part of Darth Vader and Han Solo, they did really some weird bizarro dimension slap Eric and face on the guy.
The things I do for that, for instance, Vader trends the other way. It looks awesome, but it sounds like it's
You will know the power of the dark side.
That was a perfect description, Lawrence.
Odds are DICE and EA didn't or couldn't get the rights to the exact individual factors.
Way! They called him on. You want me to do what? And then
he crashed the bike. Lawrence, what else is the internet doing?
It's a bunch of when Han Solo is defeated, he kind of puts his hands behind his head and goes to his knees. He surrenders in the same way he did in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that's cool.
At least I think it was Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, something like that.
Reddit user Django Fett, which is a pretty cool name, noticed that Luke and Vader now have laser deflect recharge time. So when you're deflecting lasers, it's a circular meter that depletes. So you can't just sit there like a tank and deflect lasers the whole
Why
time.
not? Jedi can do that forever.
They can. So the way it was balanced, and this is another thing, hero health in Walker Assault in the beta would drain out slowly. So you could just sit there and deflect lasers all day, but you'd still lose health gradually, and they gradually remove you from the battle. But in Heroes versus Villains, it seems like they put another gate on laser deflection, but your health doesn't drain out anymore.
Okay.
So we don't know if that's like a permanent thing, or maybe just an old version that they were capping for these gameplay clips.
Sure.
But it's interesting to note the differences.
Cool. I mean, overall, the game was pretty casual, but I understand that they need to still balance it for a casual audience.
Right.
You just can't have one guy dominating either, it's all trade-off, so it makes sense that they would do that.
We also know DICE's developers have been listening to the community and actually trying to make gameplay tweaks according to what people are saying on Reddit and things like that. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, a lot of good shit.
Also, the cockpit of Slave One looks really fucking awesome.
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah,
I think we did it. We did it.
You got a radar detector, so that way he doesn't get caught speeding.
We also get to see the cargo and droid run game modes, which look kind of goofy, actually. You have to protect the dumbass gonk droid as it slowly waddles through a map. Come on, you dumb little robot! Walk fast, you fucking idiot!
The Stormtrooper being like, God, why did we build this?
The droids
Just pick it up! Do it, pick up the damn thing!
He's like, gong, 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 gong.
If only there was a way to better transfer data!
One final note, if you don't feel like clicking through the planet's website to see every little morsel of video, YouTube channel Battlefront Updates yanked all the videos and compiled it into a nice little 10-minute video for y'all.
Yeah, but that's what we were watching yesterday, and it was just gorgeous. We were all swooning over
Glued to the screen, if you will.
Yeah. Holy shit. This game looks amazing. I'm sorry, it just does. It looks like a fucking movie. I don't know what else to say to you about this.
Well, it's also, it doesn't help that we've actually played it with the beta, and we all looked at each other after each match of screaming at each other as dying as the rebels and going, oh, it still felt like the movie.
Yeah. Lawrence, should we be mad about this game anymore?
It's so weird. It seems like people have taken it upon themselves to be mad about everything, and furthermore, like if somebody's in front of a camera, they expect them to shit on everything no matter what it is. Always ask for more, better. I think this looks like an awesome game.
Wait,
I'm
so
really
what are
looking
you
forward to
angry
playing it.
about? Get angry about something.
I'm tired of that I can't spawn and where I want to spawn.
Oh, I'm kind of upset that Japan released a trailer today and I saw more footage. I wish I didn't see that.
You're talking about the movie.
The movies, they look the same at this point.
I don't like Star Wars, and I think Star Wars is dumb, and I think that people shouldn't like Star Wars.
She's not my princess.
That movie about the hairdress and the cowboy and the fucking planet of the teddy bears.
Talk about the fact that Star Wars, which takes place a long time ago, if they were
If they had today's technology,
Yeah, like cell phones.
it'd be amazing.
What are you talking about? Why would Star Wars want today's technology? You mean in their universe?
Yeah,
Where
it'd
is
be-
the Star Wars world now?
It'd be so
What are
much
you
more
talking
technologically
about?
advanced
All right.
because it was a long time ago and technology advances, right?
All right, let's put this debate to rest. Who would win in a fight, Khan or Boba Fett? You're wrong.